and welcome to Pal Arinsal in Andorra in the Pyrenees. We're right in the centre of the mountains here, in the heart of some of the most amazing scenery to go ride your bike in, with amazing trails, some great tracks, whether you're going to ride on a green trail or you're going to be taking on the black downhill runs here, whether you're capable of riding the World Championship course or you're just setting out on your bike journey. It's an amazing place to come and ride. It needs to be on your bucket list. It's definitely on mine, and I'm sure it is still on my co-host Tracy Mosley's bucket list, even though she has been and raced here. We're here for the 2024 Mountain Bike World Championships. It is the men's elite downhill. As you can see, the riders already coming out of the start here on the men's downhill, and we've seen some great rides and some great runs already being put in. If you're new to cycling, to mountain biking, we're going to try and have something for you. And if you're an Uber fan as well, we're going to try and keep you covered too. So let's start off with what is mountain bike downhill. Well, it's really simple. Our riders start at the top of the hill, one rider at a time, going down. So a time trial across the terrain that is in our course with lots of great features on the way down. A real mix, and we're going to go into a little bit more detail. All about the time though. The fastest time down the course will take away the iconic rainbow bands. Really simple concept, very, very subtle differences in what is an incredibly fast sport. Now, here in Andorra, the weather it's a little bit cloudy, but we're expecting no rain, and that shouldn't affect how this track runs here today. Let's give you the details of the track first of all. The downhill track here at Pal Arinsal, it's the third iteration of the track. It starts at the top of one of the ridges coming off the spine of the Pyrenees here in Andorra in Europe, and from the ridge top we have a big descent down. So we start off on a wide open section and we take our way down. We're going to drop 458 meters of a descent. It's open, it's fast at the top, Trace, but then we hit the trees.
Yeah, we definitely get into some technical section of the trees, but the speed never really falters. It's probably one of the fastest tracks out there, even though you've got a lot of rock and root and technical trail to contend with. It's definitely going to be one heck of a fast race.
So our rider's going to take on the terrain thrown in front of them. As you can see, we're still going to finish at altitude, 25% less oxygen up here, and hopefully won't affect us in the commentary box. It's great to be joined by Tracy, our former world champion, and I think we are going to hear what Tracy's thoughts on what another world champion can make of this course. It's Loic Bruni out on course. Yeah,
this is one hell of a start, Ren. Really, really good to see you've got such an iconic view out of the start, straight into this really awkward off-camber section, making sure that you carry enough speed. It's really, really fast and open, and tucking, carrying speed. The trail really gives you speed at the start as well. There's not much pedaling involved in this top section, making sure you stay smooth. Lots and lots of holes developed over the course of the practice this week. It stayed dry, only one small amount of rain on Wednesday evening, and some really big drops. And the bumps now, as you break into some of these slower sections, have become huge as the day's gone on.
And this is Loic's qualifying run down here, and we can see just how much pace he's put in to come down here in qualifying. And in terms of qualifying, those riders, all our riders have to go through that qualifying run. Some of the riders protected because of their position in the World Cup overall, but the riders starting in what will be a world ranking as they come down onto the course. The qualifying time not setting the order of the run. Now, Tracy, it's so quick here. The key skills here have seemed to be carrying momentum on the course throughout the duration of the races we've seen so far.
Yeah, there's definitely quite a few contrasting features. Really fast and open at the top, and you see one of these rock sections, so slower sections, and changing that momentum from fast to slow and trying to carry the speed through these sections is really important. There's a lot of trees here. You can see all orange padded trees you're trying to navigate through, and the riders have found almost like a straight line where they can. Again, some big catch berms that have got deeper and deeper as the weekend has gone on. So the course has altered, and I know between practice and the race run there will be even more holes appearing. So being inch perfect with your lines and also having to read the terrain sometimes that change is important. And here's the last jump out into the finish.
And really important here, because this has started to break up. getting these final few pedal strokes. We've seen championships just be decided by, you know, the nobble of a tyre, you know, the fractions of a second, thousands of a second. It's so tight. You've really got to get that absolutely dialed. Our previous champions, well, in fact, if you look at the list there, you actually cover a lot of years going back, because Charlie Hatton, Reese Wilson have interrupted a run of Loic Bruni and Greg Binard. In fact, if we go back to 2011, if you add Danny Hart into the mix, we're only missing G. Atherton from the riders since 2011. They're all here and racing in terms of former champions. Amazing, amazing field here in Andorra.
Yeah, and that rainbow jersey is something that all riders want to have on their Palmaras, and it's only one person each year can do that. So this is a big event. It's a very, very special weekend, and everyone's gunning to try and get that iconic rainbow jersey.
Well, let's take a look at where we are so far, because we are partway through our finals run now between the starting riders and the riders that we're going to see. You're going to see our quick runs down at the moment. You can see we've kicked off, and our rider there just diving down from. Check it. This run is really interesting. We've had issues for riders going out, and this is a really key point. You miss a post, you've got to come back in and rejoin the course where you went off. Yeah,
otherwise it's an instant disqualification. So yeah, sometimes the time it takes to come back up and go around, your race is really, really done. So it's really important that you stay between those posts.
Now, one rider who we expected to do well was Martin Macy's countryman, though, Brian coming in and down and through there, and setting a quick time as he came in to the hot seat. And you can see the hot seat there. That is where you would want to be. Not everybody able to make that place, but you know that you potentially sat there for a temporary period.
Yeah, it's nice to have that moment of being the race leader, however long that lasts. For some people, it could be a long day, and we might see a few people here today that are earlier up in the start list that sit there for a good few time, and it gets nerve-wracking the longer and longer you sit there.
Well, you can see our Brazilian rider coming down there with that 100 plate. That's Gabriel Camargo Giovanni. He put in a great time. He wasn't to stand as the riders came in and through, and we saw rider after rider making their way down into was the finish. Some really serious pace at the top. It is the fastest section, really, isn't it? This top man-made section, and then we open back up to more man-made at the very bottom. But it's almost that last jump.
Yeah, there's a really good mix, I think, on this course, and it's nice to have that variety. I think for riders, not everyone has the same strengths and weaknesses, so they can certainly have places in the trail where they feel like they can really push and make time, and other places where they need to be, be cautious. And I think the top is going to be really, really important, because it's almost free speed. There's such a lot of gravity. You just let go, and you need to try and stay off those brakes and carry as much speed as you can out of all of these corners.
And the ability to stay off those brakes, that intrinsic, I'm just going to take a little bit off here, but every little time you take a little bit and err on that side of caution, it's really going to put you in trouble.
Yeah, there's definitely, I mean, here we go. Mistakes coming into it, really well held there, as the rider from Ireland manages to get back on and maintain the speed. Once you've lost speed on this course, though, it does take time to regain that speed, so it's really important that we can, you don't make those mistakes.
And Ross Ennis there of Ireland, doing a really good job of hanging on there and recomposing himself to come back down through, and he's got another World Championship, I'm sure, to come.
Yeah, there's always that other chart, that next year, but sometimes it feels like a long year when you've spent so much effort and focus on this day, and you have to wait. Oh, another crash there as we come out. That's going to be a really tricky section. You have so much speed coming into there, and then you have to hop out across the ski piece there that we can see, and it's slightly uphill into this next section. So if you lose speed there, you're really going to struggle to maintain it.
And Jackson Connolly not able to push his way up into the top three in the house at the moment. Now, all of our riders have to obey by the rules of the UCI, making sure that they follow the rules and the racing is safe are our commissaires panel. For those people who are not into cycling, commissaire is basically a race referee. They are there to check on riders, on the bikes, and make sure the course is safe. The course follows the rules as well. Communicate all of the information to everybody as well. So really, a really important role. We've got to say a big thank you to everybody who's made the championships happen here in Andorra. It's been a fantastic welcome here for cycling and for mountain biking, and one of my favourite phrases, and it always is when somebody says to me, "Oh, you know, I'm just started out and I can't believe people are friendly." I'm like, mountain biking is a big family, and it's great to see so many people down who are, you know, part of the big mountain bike family.
Oh, it's an incredible sport, and it's feel fortunate that it's been a huge part of my life. And this weekend at the World Championships, I think emulates that completely. There's such a pride when you get to pull on that the jersey of your nation. You get your family and friends come there with, you know, waving the flag from your country, and it's different to every other race that these riders do. I think that's what makes it so special. There's so much weight on this, so much expectation and pressure that you know, when you do win it, it's a special thing. You join a list of very small amount of riders that have achieved it, and you get to wear those rainbow bands for the next 12 months.
And it's great to see so many riders. We've got local riders here in terms of the Spanish with Pal Arinsal, Basque in there, Kurt McDonald, Martin Mays joining him on the hot seat at the moment. And they've all got friends and family around and the team members supporting them. But if it's your home championship, you've got your local family there, you put in a good ride, it's got to be that little bit extra special.
Oh, definitely. There's slightly home advantage, certainly when riders, you know, ride in this area. They know the terrain. The terrain changes all over the world, wherever we go. And this weekend particularly, we've got very dry, loose conditions, which we don't always see in other places in the world.
But one man who is definitely not from this region, Martin Mays, a rider with form when it comes to taking medals, a silver medalist in the 2018 World Championships at Lenzerheide, currently in the hot seat, centre stage with a 2-minute 41.958 second run. You can see some big names further down, people like Sam Blanky and Josh Brannigan, and a lot of new names as well. Jackson coming in there. You know, it's a real mix, isn't it?
It is, and downhill is such an evolving sport where there's so many youngsters now coming through that are so fast, so young. We've got, you know, technology's changed with bikes that allow these kids that are now riding bike parks to all these places we can ride. There's so many opportunities now to start mountain biking earlier on, and to that skill level to just increase so much, and they come as juniors and already as fast as the elite guys. So yeah, it's great to see such a mix of people, and it's going to be a great race.
And one name just sitting at the bottom of that list, David Trummer there, the man from Austria who took a silver medal back in 2020. So you know, he's a rider who even back, you know, in recent history has taken a medal. It's no indicator almost, just because you've been a medalist, you're going to be able to do that again. No,
definitely. And there's so many injuries that are involved in sport as well, and there's the highs and lows, and if you do have an injury, it's hard to come back sometimes.
Well, as we see the riders who are about to come down the race run, we've still got plenty of riders to go, about 42 riders or so to make their way down into the finish. We're going to get through the riders. Now, the riders are starting off in their world rank order. So if you're number 1 in the world and your name is Slope Running, you're going to be the last man off on the race route. And you can see as we work our way down, those riders making their way down onto the course will be coming through ahead of Bruni in the order. And the last two riders, I mean, you've got Bruni, you've got Cole, we've got previous medalists all through this race field. It's going to be a really exciting run into that finish and that last run down.
It is. It's always fantastic when that fastest rider comes last, and the tension builds. And in places like this, the track can sometimes deteriorate as well. So sometimes they don't always get the best track, and they have to adapt to that as they go on. And one thing that has changed with downhill recently is there's so many more people with those team riders that are on course, being line scouts, watching to see what other riders are doing time checks, and also, you know, feeding back any information on the course's change. So if there's suddenly a corner that disappears during the race, they'll know, there'll be someone there watching.
So do know a race here from Portugal will have people at the side of the course. How do they communicate to their riders? Do they say, you know, take on corner 14, take that high line, or have they got it in code? How do they communicate that information?
Well, they've been doing this all week in practice, you know, whether it's with the national team or whether it's with your commercial trade team. The riders will know, they'll have that information. They'll have walked the course certainly more than once, possibly twice or 3 times over the course of practice. They'll know every inch of the trail, and they'll probably send video footage straight to the person at the top, radios in check as well. So there's always that communication to be able to show them exactly, and even annotate on a picture. You can do a drawing and say go here rather than go here. There's lots of ways of getting that information out there.
And that technology that we have now really helping the riders and helping in terms of the bikes out as well. A lot of data being able to be pulled from the bike, because although it seems quite a simple machine, the bike is so complex now, and we're actually taking data from the shots, from the suspension setup, and pulling all that data out.
Yeah, there was lots of riders today, even the last practice run, with data acquisition, so you can see boxes and cables going to their suspension, and what that is basically, it's recording what the suspension is doing, how much it's going up and down throughout that race race run, whether it's you need more air pressure to stay up or whether we need less. It's so much detail they can get from that information.
Well, let's see how Mark Wallace does of Canada. He's our next rider down on to course. Not seen anybody displacing Martin Mays at the moment. His winning time, the fastest time. And everybody really at the moment struggling to match Martin Mays. Now, Mays a former medalist. He knows what it takes to put in a top class run. He's been riding really well. He's going to sit there. He can see what is coming down at him. He's going to be able to see those time splits which are red on your screen. When the rider is behind, they'll show up as green if the rider is in front. So basically a minus number indicates that they're ahead, a plus number indicates that the rider is behind the time of the race leader. The time to beat is Martin Mays. Clearly Mark Wallace is going to go slower than him. You can see that on your screens at the moment. And we'll see what that time gap is. And as you can see, it is in red. It's plus 5.757 seconds. So just about 6 seconds down across a run which is 2 minutes 45. That's a reasonable amount of time to lose.
Yeah, that's quite a big chunk of time on a course that's this fast and this short. I think we're going to see the race being won. There'll be more than one person, probably more like 10 on each second when it gets the really the hot end of the race and we start to get the fastest riders down. It is hundreds and thousands of seconds that will define who wins the race like this, and that's when it comes down to one tiny mistake. It's the smallest of margins, and every little piece of this course has to be analysed to try and make sure you maximise that when you're practicing.
So Henrik just on his way down at the moment. He's lost speed through the time check through the speed of 3 kilometres an hour as it comes down. It's incredible speed to make your way down here through all these twists and turns. But at the moment, going to be fighting to get himself up into the top 10. He gets into top 8 as he comes in through. But I think he maybe would have just wanted a little bit more pace out of that. Yeah,
I think Martin Mays has set a really good time there. It's only a couple of seconds slower than the fastest time we saw in qualifying. So I think that is a really good benchmark, and it's going to probably sit for quite a while until people start to take a few seconds away from it. But Martin's been racing for a long time. He's an enduro rider, so again has that endurance and the ability to turn it on when it matters. And I know he loves racing downhill, so his world is always a chance to come back and go back to one of his roots of his racing. He's done a great ride so far.
So here we go, we've got Bandello going down the course at the moment. This is going to be all about keeping pace, keeping speed, and tracing the lines that we see the riders taking are very, very similar. Now, if you have been watching any of the other action from the World Championships, we want to put a few things in the show that repeat, because we know we've got lots of new viewers as well on the way through. Line choice is critical. They're picking different lines in there. It's all about carrying that speed. We do see different lines being faster for different types of rider.
Yeah, definitely. They will have tried various different lines throughout the weekend. They will have had timing checks on there to see what's fastest for them. But everyone has a different riding style and different technique, and will find certain features easier than others. So it's finding the line that works for you. And it's the fastest possible line that you can take down the hill. It might be different to somebody else, but often they end up being very similar by the time you get to the end of the practice. But there'll still be some intricacies and it's the accuracy of sometimes when it gets really rough like this, just getting outside of those bumps, if you can, will mean you're not getting hung up and holding speed.
Okay, so getting hung up, basically to get slowed down and just being held in a section of course. You know, we talked about catchment, so basically you're going and you're just losing speed. The course is almost taking it from you.
Yeah, exactly. You'll see some of the bumps in a straight line, and if every time you hit one of those bumps it slows you down a little bit, you're losing speed. Whereas if you can just glide over the top and kind of skip over the holes, you'll continue keeping that momentum, if not build momentum. So some of that comes down to suspension setup of your bike. Sometimes it comes down to your riding technique and the strength, and also your line choice, just missing some of those holes if you can.
So watching the riders come down, Stefano Entrossi in the third place position at the moment. Gonçalo Bandeira sitting in second for Portugal, and Martin May still holding the centre stage at the moment with that fastest time, a 2 minute 41.9 seconds. But May's split time here at split number 4 is holding up as all of these riders are throwing absolutely everything at this course into this big drop and almost diving through there. So that technique where he was pushing down there.
Yeah, like scrubbing the jump.
Yeah, scrubbing the jump. Tell us about that. Why would you do that?
You basically, this is the time trial, it's the fastest to the bottom, and the more time you spend hanging in the air, the more wind resistance you've got. You basically want to be getting those wheels on the ground as quick as you can. So the riders will do a technique where they try and turn the bars and push the bike off that drop to try and get onto the ground as quick as possible to maintain speed, maintain contact. and get on the pedals if they can and generate as much speed as possible.
Okay, next Italian rider Lorenzo Ravelli into our descent. This top section so critical. Got to get the pace down, got to get the speed, generate the rest of the run from here. This is what's going to set you up with a really good foundation for your run. Get it wrong here, it's so hard to make time back. It's in any kind of time trial, it's about keeping the speed going. Now we saw him clip one of the posts there. Well, that count was inside and outside. Did you always figure if you clipped it, that was, you know, you're right on the limit? Yeah,
I mean, the marshals are there watching. I think if he just touched it with the pedal, then it might have just flicked away. There's definitely, it's only when your wheels go the other side of those posts that it becomes a problem. So just a touch like that would be absolutely fine.
And if you do go outside the course, you've got to come back into the course where you went out. No matter how far down the slope you might have slid, you've got to come back up and come back in again, same place.
Yeah, so sadly that's pretty much game over and race over if that does happen, because you lose so much time. On a track this fast, there's no way you can get back up to speed again and not have too much deficit.
Well, at the moment, the deficit to be inside the top 10 is just inside 4 seconds, and that shows you just how close things are at the top at the moment. As our next rider, Henry Kiefer of Germany, hits the course coming off from the top, but taking these turns between those red posts. Let's pick up with him slightly lower down the course, just coming into this lower wooded section.
You can see the dust flying off the back of their tyres and how dry it's become every time that they hit one of those turns. There's rocks flying up and changing, so the terrain's always changing. He looks like he's on a pretty fast run here, good split time so far, carrying good speed, getting nice and high there, coming out of the turn early to try and carry speed onto this last bit of the piece. It kind of jumps out and it's really easy to lose speed here.
And picking up the pace, he was 14th at split number 1. By the time we got to split 4, he was sitting in 3rd position. What's he going to make when he hits the line? He holds that 3rd place at the moment, so Kiefer comes in through 3rd place in the house. He's going to push the rider in 3rd place off and down and depose them, but I can't imagine he thinks he's going to be able to hold that place for all that long with so many riders still to come. Okay, next up from Great Britain, Joe Breeden into the descent here. Very different conditions to a lot of his race training and practice, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Wherever you come from in the world, you're always going to get different terrain, different soil conditions, and certainly in the UK, we're not that used to dust like this. But these riders, you know, they get to train, they get to race all over the world. You have to be good in any terrain that comes your way if you're racing on a World Cup stage. So you definitely have conditions that favour, and there's certainly riders when it starts to rain start to smile, and others when it does, they definitely don't smile. So this is definitely kind of a dry specialist, and someone that enjoys being able to let the bike loose, and you can feel it constantly. It's like riding on marbles sometimes when you get onto those loose sections.
Were you a rider that liked that feeling of the bike just going underneath, or did you always want to keep those wheels pinned where you wanted them?
Yeah, I guess growing up in the UK, we're not used to that amount of dryness, and any time it was like that, I went to America for a whole summer to try and learn to ride in dust, because I didn't know what to do in it. I definitely preferred a bit more dirt, and even a bit of rain was always my preference.
Well, let's see if Tracy's going to be able to put any of those little tips in that whole year of running in the dust in America. We'll see if she's going to pull out any of that technicalities or riders on the way through. I'm sure being a former world champion, there's still something she could teach them a trick or two here, having pulled on the stripy jersey, the iconic rainbow bands across the centre of the world champions jersey that all these riders want to take back home at the end of the day here today. Only one rider's going to do that, and we've still got plenty of riders to go. The first rider from inside the top 50 ranked riders in the world is Colombian Sebastian Holguin Villa. He's going to be followed down the course by Juan Munoz while. So two countrymen together, very similar position in terms of ranking here today. And that rivalry, I guess, also helps generate a whole load of speed and a whole load of competition, and really can propel you on. Oh, definitely. I think, you know, success breeds success. I've always said that, and when back in the UK, when we started winning World Cups, we suddenly had this influx of juniors, and you've got someone to aspire to. So if you've got a countryman that's doing well on the World Cup circuit, all the riders back home when you race nationals are going to have to beat that person to get to that level. So you certainly do see that as soon as there's one good rider from the country, it tends to create a generation behind them. It's all the way down, Juan Munoz on his way down towards the arena bowl. He's going to come into sight of that finishing line. There's a lot of looking down, tucking his head down in. Is that aerodynamics, or is there an issue, do you think, with the bike there? Yeah, I think maybe there's a chain problem there. The chain's either come off or something's jammed, or something's happened. He's definitely got a pedal issue, possibly.
Looks like maybe he's something wrong with his pedal and his cleats pulled out, maybe? Hard to tell.
Certainly that left foot is not engaged in the pedal, but I think you said that maybe, yeah, look, just point down to that left foot, so yeah, not engaged. So for anybody new, the pedals are known as clipless pedals. You click into them. It's from the days when we used to have toe clips and straps way back when. Even Tracy might just about remember them.
I do, yep.
Yeah, not great fun when you're going and riding down, but basically used to be strapped in with a great toe clipless, so clipless, and that means that you lock in. It's a bit like the old ski binder, which was originally developed.
Yeah, so
a lot of changes, double-sided, so you can clip either side of the pedal.
Yeah, and you'll get riders that choose that option. There's also riders that don't want that clipping feeling. They've chosen to have just a flat pedal where you can just place your foot on with your normal shoe. So there's advantage and disadvantage of both. If you're clipped in, you've certainly got the most efficiency. You're connected, that drive is already there, but it's sometimes you don't have the same ability to kind of move around on the pedal. So some flat pedal riders out there, they take their foot out in the corners, they can really lean in and they can drift and they can carry good speed around corners. So it's definitely a personal preference. And for downhill, you'll see both options out there today, and both doing equally as well, I would say.
You're not going to go on either side. You're going to sit on that fence, aren't you, till you get splinters about which you would.
I know what I would choose. I definitely would not be able to get down there on flat pedals without my feet coming off everywhere. But there's been some. The Sam Hill back in the day was the guy who won many things on flat pedals, and there's plenty of the riders since then that are doing the same thing. So again, it's personal preference. You can make it work for your riding style, and you can still be one of the fastest in the world. Yeah,
I mean, Sam Hill, 4th in the all-time greats, and 3 gold, 3 wins in the World Championships, I think silver, and a couple of bronzes, just a couple of bronzes on the way through on flat pedals. It's great skill, and it does give you great technique. It's a great coach. You know, if you're coaching, you'd want to coach on flat pedals to get the skill of being able to move the bike. Maybe before you went on to clippers.
Definitely, I definitely advise anyone that's starting out to ride. You can often cheat when it comes with if you're clipped in. You can kind of pull the bike and you can move it around with your feet rather than really using the terrain. So definitely a good place to start is on those flat pedals. And if you can ride flats, you can definitely ride clips.
And it's keeping them on, isn't it, that can be tricky. But you can just see here, unclipping as it came around, that mistake on that corner costing time. And it means not going to be a hot seat there for a rider from Australia. The next rider down from the United States of America. There are 27 nations represented here in the downhill elite men's finals, and on his way down at the moment, Austin Dooley trying to get the fastest time. He was up on split 1, he was up on split number 2. What can he do coming in towards split number 3 and 4? Will he be able to set the fastest time? He's on a good run here.
Yeah, that looks really nice and smooth. He's carrying really good speed. You can see he's trying to pump every little bit, stay low to the ground out of that little kicker. This is a really fast section. Oh, great. 1.7 seconds up, so this is looking like a really good run.
So diving down 1.7, he's improved another half a second between splits 2 and 3, that mid-section. You can see as he dives down into the trees through the chicane of orange pads and across the piece here. This is one of the ski runs that comes down, the open ski runs with the gondolas directly above it. It's off cambered, it's cambered to the left, but you're going slightly to the right there.
He still managed to get, I was going to say he looked like he had to put quite a bit of effort in to get that speed on that ski piece, but it's obviously enough. He's still in the green, so he's still definitely having a good run here. Just needs to get his last wood section, staying nice and tight in there. And some people have taken the higher line there, but there's not been much in it. You just need to make sure that you can carry the speed out of this last jump onto the piece, get a couple of pedals in if you can, inside of that corner, missing the holes.
Really pushing his way in there, nose dives down on from where landing first, but 2.763. He lost about a second or so on the lower sections, but he had enough in hand to be just over 3/4 of a second quicker than Martin Mays. He gets up out of the hot seat. He'll be shuffling it into 2, or we're going to see Gonzalez Balearo going in at 2-3, and now as Austin Dooley, the man on your screens, puts in the fastest run so far.
Yeah, it looks like he made some time up in these middle sections of the course, and that's when it's the carrying speed. You can see him kind of getting low, being smooth, trying to really keep the bike on the ground as much as possible.
And then just popping it up over the tree roots, so you don't want to hit those tree roots. As you were saying, every little bump, every tree root, it could just slow you. So the more you can go over them rather than across them, the better you're going to be in terms of carrying speed. Right, next rider down onto the course. Now, this is a man who we know has got the potential to maybe shake up the hot seat and get everybody playing musical chairs once again. It is Angel Suarez Alonso on course. What's he going to do? Nice running there, and he's already a 0.1 of a second up, 10th of a second up at this stage. And that's coming through split number 3. He's going to come down towards split 4 as he comes down this course. Look at the pace he's got at the moment. You
can hear the crowd as well. Certainly being a Spanish resident, he's got a lot of local fans out here. You can hear them cheering all week. It's been interesting listening to the fans. There's definitely been a lot of locals. It's almost like a home world champs for these guys. And he's putting together a great run. Certainly up there, 1.4 seconds with only one section left.
So here we go into these lower slopes. Going to be critical. Can he hold on to that? Pace goes really high round that section. Going to come through into the arena. Doesn't get as much height as we saw Dilly do. Will this be a fastest time? He's got a little bit of time in hand. He's taken it by 1.167 of a second. So that lower section there, he added another couple of tenths of a second, just pushing on, trying to get it, but 1.167. Realistically, it's a great run, but it's not going to be enough, is it?
Well, his time's pretty close to that of the qualifying time, but I do think we're going to see the riders, pushing the limits even further. Qualifying is important to qualify, but it isn't the race run, so there's going to be some people holding back and not showing all their cards in that run. So I do expect we're going to have to break the time and definitely take a few more seconds out of it. So definitely a good run. I think he'll definitely end up with a good result, but it's probably not going to be enough to be on that podium.
So here we go, next rider away. This is our rider from France, Nathan Pompion, who is making his way across this upper section. It is wide open. When you're on the bike, it's got to feel different.
Oh yeah, it's wide open. You've got all, if it is windy day, you're going to feel that wind up there, and the acceleration you get from the terrain. You literally, there's no pedaling. You let go in the brakes. The more you can not touch those brakes as well, the speed you're going to carry into this next section is really, really crucial. Slightly 2 seconds down here. So, that got a bit loose as he came out of there. But yeah, obviously had a little mistake that's cost him some time and not quite carrying the same speed that we've seen of the previous guys through there. Ducking and diving through those trees. That key section across the piece there. You can see again, he's looking like he's lost a little bit of pace as he comes into this last section.
So all about getting that speed in, setting a good foundation, carrying it through the mid-session and maybe trying to make a little bit more on the lower parts here. Comes off again, just dropping that bike, and maybe not quite as much as deliberately squashing it down as he came in through, but carrying plenty of pace and missing a lot of things that are going to slow him on the way through, but not quite as far into the arena there. Maybe just lost a little bit of pace. Big sprint into the line, 1.99 seconds going through, so that is 2 seconds down. He goes going to go into 4th place, just off the hot seat at the moment. So good run, not going to be enough to take him into the middles. Now Oliver Davis of Australia, very quickly out of the start gate here, sitting well back on that bike.
I think this could be a really good run. He had a great qualifying in 8th place, really young rider with a lot of talent. And I think he'll take a lot from that fast qualifying run, being up there in the top 10. Be interesting to see if he can back it up today and improve his time a little bit.
So when you've done a fast run like we've seen, you know what's going to work. I mean, we're seeing it. You could just see him. It's literally just flying over anything that's going to slow him down here. Great hop across there over the tree root and down. And placement really key. Tight inside line there as well.
That was nice. That rock's really awkward. If you actually touch that rock, it does kind of kick you up in there, and that's a really slowing down. So I've watched quite a few riders trying to pre-hop. So that means guys like compressing the bike before, taking off and clearing the rock without touching it, so it doesn't kick you and slow you. So it's a big hop to do, but some of the guys have been getting it really good.
Let's see if he's in touch as he's making his way down here. He's holding the pace at the moment and getting a little bit faster. Sector 1, he was a little slow on. He got a little bit slower between our first and second time check, but speeding up towards number 3 and starting to pull time back and continue that ascent upwards. Can he make his way in? He's already behind the fastest time, but he's in 2nd place, but it's 1.388 at the moment from Angel Suarez Alonso, the man who holds the fastest time at the moment, so he's not going to trouble him unless he can pull something super special down.
Yeah, it looks like he lost a lot of that time in that one section before he crossed the piste. He had to get on those pedals, and that then does mean you don't carry the speed into that next lower section, so shame he lost some time there.
So Suarez Alonso in top spot, and he comes through 0.44 in second place. Good ride by Oliver Davis. He's going to be taking his place once he's got a bit more oxygen back in those lungs. We said it's high. I mean, we are at altitude. When you're working this hard on the bike, when you're physically making yourself get around this course, that's taking its toll. At altitude, did you feel the effects? Oh,
you definitely do. I think, especially, you know, a lot of the cross-country riders come here for a lot of time before to acclimatise, and you can hear the riders breathing when they're coming down, puffing, you know, blowing the air out, trying to suck more air in, so that they're working really hard.
Now, here we go. Dylan Maples will want a good start. Down the ramp he goes. That ramp's about 45 degrees when you stand next to it. It really does get the speed picking up super fast to come into this fast bike track style section. The rider's using every millimetre of the track. As it goes high, you can see where it's breaking up on those berms at the very higher levels. To be able to go around there, you really got to use them, and you've got to use the effect of the berm to carry pace. You can see there as it's broken, the bike really struggling and really having to fight to stay on the track. Yeah,
that top section, the guys this morning were saying that they've started to go inside yesterday to try and avoid those holes, to take a line that was more, you know, inside of the corner, but then that inside started to get holes, so then it was like, do you go back to the outside? So it's been really hard for them to know, but he's definitely chosen to take those kind of outside lines, but they're hitting those bumps, so it's going to be interesting to see what the guys decide towards the faster end of the race, whether they do try to avoid those holes, or whether they're just going to have to tough it out and hold on tight. Oh, a bit of got stuck there and definitely lost some time. That's a really tough corner that's changed a lot over the week.
Yeah, when we first came here, I mean, we were watching the riders in practice coming around that left-hand turn. They were flowing around it. Now it's almost like you go into it and you're falling into some kind of great big sinkhole in the corner.
Yeah, the track builders have had to work really hard on that. They've constantly been removing rocks, packing it, trying to make it deeper and trying to make it work so it doesn't alter the flow of the race too much. But that's one of those key sections that, yeah, you can lose the hundredths just like that from one stall there.
Well, good ride there by Dylan Maples. I think he's going to be pretty pleased with that when he watches that run back all the way to the limit. Nice place when he came down, and you can see there just those plumes of dust coming up on those slightly looser sections as you come around, where it is really more dust than it is gravel. That it's so fine up on those upper sections. It is a really fine sandy surface that's left.
Oh, it is, and it's really loose. And when the guys are pushing that hard, they really are on the edge of grip. You can say it's a little bit of a wild ride going on there, slightly nose heavy. But that section, it's so precision. To get that perfect, you've got to be accurate, but also let go and try and carry the speed through there.
So the first of our riders inside the top 30 in the world rankings, making his way down. This is the rider from New Zealand's Lifeline Stevens and McNabb, diving down on these upper turns. Here he comes into the lower sections. We're going to catch up with him a little bit further through, carry nice pace through that section.
He's a really exciting young rider again. We're seeing something coming out of there with loads of speed carrying onto this section. This is a really lovely big jump that's got a kind of cafe area outside. So there's a really good atmosphere there as you cross that section. So the riders will be able to hear the crowd and the music that's playing there. Looks like he got that section pretty good. Put some pedals in to try and carry the speed here. It'd be interesting to see whether that was he's gained a little bit or carried or lost some more time there.
So here we go through the split. He's down to 2.5 seconds down on our race leader at the moment, Angel Suarez Alonso, the rider in the hot seat at the moment. 2 minutes 40 seconds. The time there, 2:40.028. That's translates to an average speed of 54.73 kilometres an hour down this course. Is he going to get close? He is going to be close. It's not close enough, though. He goes into 5th place, and 1st to 5th separated by 1.292 of a second at this stage. It's still really close.
Yeah, it's going to be a very tight race, this one. I think it's a short track, you know, sub 3 minutes. There's so many places where you can get slightly just stuck in a hole or get that corner slightly wrong, and you've lost all that momentum. And that's going to really play into the rest of the trail. And trying to get that speed back is pretty hard. You can see him boosting out of that big landing on the back wheel. The crowd will be enjoying that up there, that's for sure. And sprinting in to carry this, trying to stay low on this jump, again, not to lose any speed.
So 23 more riders to come down this course. We've got Ryan Pinkerton, Greg Williamson and Max Hartenstein. They're going to be on next riders hitting the course, and this is Ryan Pinkerton from the United States. His qualifying time just slower, 1.5 of a second or so slower as he came down in terms of seconds in his qualifying to the fastest time set at the moment. Will he go faster? At the moment, he's cutting a little bit out on that berm, not going right to the very top.
Yeah, he's again another exciting young rider. He's moved up to the junior ranks and second in qualifying the other day. He's definitely obviously got the measure of this track, and they've had another day of practice, which I think is sometimes quite hard for the riders to know. They've had practice extended over a long period of time this week compared to a World Cup where it's sometimes quite concise and they've got to do 2 race runs in a day. So there's lots of thinking time, lots of time to maybe look at lines and change things and try things out. So some riders will enjoy that extra time and others will probably find it stressful. The waiting game is sometimes really hard for downhill. But we'll see whether he's managed to pull out any extra seconds and try some new lines today to gain that few extra seconds that he needs if he knows he's going to win.
And because we have such tight margins, you've got to be the complete package as a rider. You've got to have the skill, you've got to physically be capable of doing it, and you've got to have that mental strength, the ability to cope. And a shake of the head there, a clear indicator. Not happy with that. He'll know he's made a mistake somewhere on the way down there. He lost time consistently on the way down from top to bottom, and not to be his run now. Just taking a little look up to the start hut at the moment. And just watching Bernard Kerr make his way in to the top of the hut. The rider's going up on the gondola. It's all part of the deal, but you then have to hang around at the top before you dive on down. Our next rider, though, out and away. And this is going to be a rider out on a course, Greg Williamson from Great Britain. Very quickly into this corner, into these turns. A protected rider because he's performing well on the World Cup circuit. Carries plenty of pace and speed down, getting nice and low on the way down as well, keeping it quite tight.
Yeah, it looks like they've the first couple of those corners look like they've really got some big holes in, and it gets a little bit easier as they go down. But yeah, Greg's had a really good few results this year. Looks like he's not had the best of top splits there, 2.7 down. That's quite a big margin to try and make up on this last section of track. Carrying speed nicely here, tucking, trying to come into these woods. It's often quite hard when it's so sunny outside and there's the bright light going into those trees. That change of contrast, it just takes a split second to adjust, and with the dust lingering as well, you come into these woods at such a pace to find your line. You're really kind of almost going on feel and going on the fact that you know it's there rather than what you can actually see for a split second.
And knowing the course, we see the riders visualising it before the start. We regularly see them practicing those moves, remembering what is there. That's one of those moments that really comes in handy.
Oh, definitely. And they'll have done a GoPro, a film on their helmets where they can film their runs, so they will know absolutely every rock and route. I mean, things obviously will change, but they really could almost ride down there blindfolded in some ways because they know it so well.
Well, let's hope nobody's trying that here today in Andorra. I don't think our medic teams are quite happy if somebody was to hit the deck, but it's definitely a tricky day today to get speed on that top section. So Greg Williamson losing his time all the way down his race run. The riders really are fighting on the upper sections. There's a lot of time being lost, and the way people lose time at the top there is affecting the rest of the run. And that's not just about carrying speed and momentum. That can be in the head as well. That mental attitude of being able to keep on going no matter what happens. Yeah,
that's definitely a skill. If you make a mistake, to be able to clear your mind from that and move on and focus rather than kind of dwell and then almost try too hard to make up for that time. Sometimes you just got to let that go and still focus on that run and to be clean, because sometimes you push too hard and that's when more mistakes come when you're trying too hard. You can see them really trying to pump in the terrains where you kind of just push into the ground to generate speed. And it's an efficient way of riding. So inside there, trying to avoid some of those holes and trying to carry as much speed as you can up here.
And we have things like the Pump Track World Championship because that pumping is such a skill now. Max Hartenstein out on course, his first split, half a second down, his second split, 1.738 down on our race lead. He's going to be looking to pull back time. Nice entry in there, putting in plenty of pedal strokes on the way through. I'm really trying to pick a little bit of time at every single opportunity to come back. Diving down here into this turn.
Yeah, it's just like he's just lost some more time again, so it's just been a general kind of just not quite carrying the speed that the previous riders have to get that faster time. Nice high line there, hopping the bike, but it's just not quick enough to be challenging for that hot seat, I don't think.
And just bouncing a little bit on the way through on that exit there, just maybe just not quite getting that landing speed. When you're in the air, you're not getting traction, are you? You just can't generate it, even if you're pedaling in the air. And a few riders, that is their technique.
Yeah.
We do see it, you know, but it doesn't. You've got to have that wheel on the ground to drive.
Yeah, definitely. But there's two ways. You know, you want to be on the ground to generate speed, but also you sometimes want to miss those holes. So kind of skilling over the holes, sometimes being in the air there can be an advantage. So you've got to know when to be in the air, when not to be in the air. It's such a fine balance between, you know, getting it perfect and just getting slightly offline or off time. And it does, a sport like this, the time can disappear so quickly, and race is going to be won today by hundredths, I'm quite sure.
Well, at the moment, we have got our top three sat down there. They've been sat in position a little while now. You can see Dylan Maples, Oliver Davis and Angel Suarez Alonso, the top three riders at the moment. Max Hutchinson, the rider we just saw come down in 9th place, just behind Ryan Pinkerton. Pompian and Mays above him. As you can see, we've still got the top 20 inside 5 seconds of our race leader. And some very big names at the moment, maybe not where they would want to be in terms of position. 8 seconds separating our riders down into 40th position, and top 50 covered by 13.7 seconds. So still really tight. It's only once we go to riders who've clearly had a major issue where we're going down into the 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes down there where they've had to roll down.
Yeah, definitely. Certainly one big mistake or one crash and you've lost a lot of time.
So the riders in that hot seat will have a little bit of a break in their nose, because we do get a gap between our riders coming in and through, between the top riders in the top 20. Let's take a look back at the runs from our top three riders. So our top three riders in the clubhouse, setting off from the start gate up at the top of the course, heading right the way down this long 1.9k course, 458 metres, not the longest run that we're going to see, but some fantastic race runs being put in by our riders making their way down on the descent here today. Absolutely all about making sure you get this course down from top to bottom. Tracy, any take-homes from this? I mean, you raced on some of the previous courses here. This course has been in use for a while now. Anything to take home from what we've seen from our top riders?
No, I think it's just, it's such a fast course, and I think it's the accuracy of any of those little mistakes. You lose that momentum, you don't carry it down the hill. So certainly getting those top section as fast as you can, maybe getting tucking, trying to avoid all those holes. And then trying to carry the speed into the slightly more technical sections, just being really sure on your lines, having had that, you know, information from your trail crew on the side, whether there's anything you need to change up, having the information of knowing what time that you've got to beat. That's the nice thing about going off on that, like the last few guys, they'll know what the fastest time is, they know whether they've beaten that in previous practice. So.
Well, will any of our top three still be sitting after our next set of riders? You just saw them on your screens. First of those riders on that list, Jacob Jewett away for Canada. Quickly into this course, quickly into his rhythm there, staying low, just kicking that bike out a little bit coming into that berm.
I think he's going to be one of the riders to watch. There's been a big break. It's been 7 weeks since these guys last raced a World Cup. There's been various racing happening in different places in the world. He's did some big wins back home in Canada and been looking good on the course. It'll be interesting to see what he can put together today.
And one of our youngest riders in the last 20 riders to go, and having that enthusiasm, that we all know we bounce better when we're younger, and we tend to have less fear when we're younger. That translates, doesn't it? Because you just know that you can push a little bit more.
Oh, definitely. I think they've had fewer years to have crashes, I'd say, and have injuries to come back from, and definitely the youthfulness gives you that ability to push and take risks.
But at the moment, it's not paying it off for Jacob Jewett. Down a 0.6 on the first split, 1.8 seconds down on split 2, 1.4 pulling a little bit back on split number 3. Can he pull some more out on these lower sections? He's losing time though, 2.665 now. So that section between split 3 and split 4 really is doing the damage here. That is where we saw such a good run from Angel Alonso Suarez, who goes through. I mean, at the moment, he's sitting in with a time of 2:40. It's faster than the fast times of qualifying. At the moment, nobody touching him. This is going to be close, but it's going to be no cigar.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that there's that time. Obviously, the track probably is getting harder. The holes are probably getting bigger. It's going to be hard to know. I still feel like there's more time to be gained, and we've still got some of the top riders out there that are going to risk it all today to get that time. Oh, there's a slide out there. Yeah, again, anytime you lose that, you just lose a little bit of traction, you lose a little bit of speed. It'll take a bit of your confidence away as well, and then you've got to regroup, refocus, and get going again.
And at the time that wheel lets go, for me, when I'm riding my bike, I probably like most people, when the bike lets go, I'm on the floor before I know about it. When you're a rider, you know, you're a world-class rider, are you able to actually process? You know exactly what's happened at that moment? And,
yeah,
and
definitely.
You're processing it and then able to carry on?
Yeah, you'll kind of adjust your weight to try and help get your balance back, and then your eyes are already way past what's just happened under your wheels. You're already looking at the next section, so as long as you keep heading in the right direction, you can recover that slide. You're already focused on what's coming next.
Well, next on course is Davide Pal Arinsal of Italy. 15 seconds into this race run on the top section of course. Can he keep in touch with the race leaders as he comes down? He's less than half a second just behind our race leader. That is definitely in touch at the moment. He's coming in this upper section. It's still incredibly steep. It doesn't really show you just how steep that is. It's tricky. And I know a lot of the riders, they would rather be on the bike coming down here than actually walking down and looking at the course.
Yeah, definitely, and that was, he had a really, because see how high he was in that berm earlier, and then he's managed to get that section really nicely. A few holes there, I'd say lost a little bit of speed possibly across that section coming into the big drop.
So let's catch up with him a little bit lower down the course. It's one of the really fast sections. That rock chute there takes a lot of pace, a lot of speed, and hit a few of the routes on the way through there. So losing a little bit more time, going to 1.366 of a second behind our race leader in the house at the moment. And that is doing damage to his race time. He's continuing to descend though at the moment. Can he pull anything out? What's he got to do here? He's throwing everything at it.
He looks like there's a bit of full commitment going on there. He's definitely letting it all hang out and trying to gain as much speed as he can. He's carrying it through there. He needs to not end up getting too loose that you start to lose your line and lose that ability to set up for the next corner. That precision is really, really important, because if you start to just let go too much, you get late for the one corner, then you get late for the next one, and then you lose that speed.
And it just avalanches down, doesn't it? It's just cumulative, so every error then leads to an even bigger error and an even bigger error after that.
And you need to be able to kind of get ahead of yourself and make sure you can kind of correct it rather than just continue again. Losing a little bit more time again, so something's not quite clicked today for him to be able to put that perfect run that he was probably hoping for.
So Davide Pal Arinsal of Italy in 2.5 minutes of his run done. He's coming down in towards our arena, in towards our race finish here in Andorra in Pal Arinsal. This fantastic mountain bike venue playing host to the 2024 Downhill Men's Elite World Championships. 1.5 seconds down puts him into 7th place as we stand at the moment. Inside the top 20, and the man coming down behind him could well push him even further down. Let's take a watch of it on here. Great to see this drone shot coming through. The mountains in the background. The bike, though, well, that's right down on the ground, and you can see how much movement there is. A little bit nose heavy in a couple of places. You
can see those holes developing. Yeah. They're taking off and landing in those holes, and also off that big step down drop, it's like the whole vista of the mountains is incredible. Not that anyone's taking time to look at that during their race run, I can assure you.
Yeah, absolutely not. Another moment there, just that front wheel, just when you hit something quite so hard, that's taking time as well, isn't it? When you're getting that maximum compression, nose heavy. He
was just getting backed a little bit off that rock as he went in, and the weight got slightly front wheel. He tried to get back to correct it, but yeah, it's not perfectly balanced right at that time.
So our riders in the start hut taking a look out. I think that was Dakota Norton the side there. You know, earbuds in, just trying to make sure that you are out of the way. Just take a look back into the start hut though. Laurie Greenland quickly out from the start hut here. Silver medalist in 2016, 2023 bronze medalist. He will want to be back on the podium again this year. The rider from Great Britain very quickly into that turn, carrying loads of pace.
Yeah, that was a nice strong start. It's almost like a bit kind of slalom skiing-esque out of that start, really pushing, making sure you're getting high and tucking as much as you can, pushing the bike onto the ground. Interesting to see he's gone inside of those holes. The last rider we saw was really, really high, so that little bit of difference of just staying out of the holes can really gain you some time.
So Laurie Greenland, a man known for throwing everything at the run on the way down, coming through towards his next time split. He's got to be in touch with the pace he's carrying. Let's take a little bit of a look further down. Pace down there.
That looked fast from what I could see. Trying to keep there. 0.1, so he's definitely in touch. Looking a really good run. He just needs to make sure he can carry the speed over this gap jump in front of the cafe, restaurant. There we are. And now it's the crucial sections, I think. In these last two tree sections is where we're going to see the race won or lost.
So a 0.15 at the first split, 0.009, then 0.115 is within tenths of a second. Can he get into the green? He's currently in the red and he's lost time. He said this was a crucial section here, and yet there was no obvious mistake there.
Well, you could see him put some very big pedal strokes in as he crossed that piece, which to me makes me think that he'd lost a lot of pace. He had to suddenly put those pedals in, so he's going to try and make it back up here, but there's not much track left now.
Well, this is it. Time is running out. He knows he's got to keep those pedals down. Has he managed to pull time back? He had been within 0.009. It is 1.19 down into fifth place. Just over 1 second push you from first to fifth on the way through there. So Greenland makes his way into the top five when he landed there. Absolutely flat out on the way through. It's not going to be a medal for him. He's going to have to wait another year to add to his silver and his bronze medal he's already got. He'll be heading into Valley, no doubt, wanting to take away another medal. A good run by him. He looked quick down here, but Laurie Greenland kind of always looks quick.
Yeah, I think he had a great top section. I think it was that one section where he went from being in touch and then he lost just over a second. And I think that's what it can happen so quickly with one mistake.
Next rider coming out of the start hut, the greatest rider of all time, a man who took his first medal at an elite world championships. There's this 2021 was the last one. It's 2001. 20-something years, 23 years ago.
Yeah.
I can't quite believe Greg Minnaar has managed to be in the medals in the men's elite for 23 years. I'm not sure what's going to happen when he's not at a World Championships. It's going to feel a very different place, that's for sure. Let's hope he continues for many more years to come now. The man from South Africa, the greatest of all time, on his way down here. Is he going to be able to pull something out? Down at split one by 0.232.
Oh, he's still close, and he has announced this. It will be his last World Championship, so this is quite a special ride for a man who has been part of the sport for the entire time I've known and been part of it.
Do you believe that's going to be his last one? Do you think he can actually do something other than race the World Championships?
I don't know. He's now really enjoying, I think, having a team that he's part of and he's helping run. And yeah, he's probably got some new things that he wants to accomplish. But I can definitely assure you that that was a nice line out of that one.
That's good. He always looks good, and he's not a little guy. There's a lot of Greg Minnaar to push through these trees, to get in between, and yet he's just so effective at like squashing right down. You can see he's just always really low as well. At the moment, 2 seconds down, the crowd absolutely loving it. They're watching Minnaar coming into this big jump here. Over that he goes into the woods once again. Critical section coming up. 2 seconds down at split three. What can he do between 3 and 4?
He's on the pedals there again, just getting out of that corner. Lost a little bit of speed. I can't think he's now going to have made up that time. I feel like they might have gone away again from him, but he's certainly going to be putting it all out there. He's had one incredible career and has been an absolute massive part of the sport, and I think he's now living in Andorra as well, so we'll know this area well, and there'll definitely be a big party tonight, whether it's a win or not, I think, for Greg Minnaar fans.
I think that's everybody, isn't it? I'm not sure there's anybody around. He's been around so long, there's not been a Greg Minot fan at one point or another. Well, here he comes into the race finish. Will it be his last run at a World Championships? He said it will be. He comes through, he gets the applause. Greg, if that is your last World Championship run, thank you for so many years of entertainment. I know Tracy and I can't quite believe if it is the last run. I don't want it to be, but maybe it is, so we will see. An absolute legend. Any abiding memory of Greg? What your favourite time? You know, I mean, he won so often on the way through. Mine almost could be his last one in Pal Arinsal.
Yeah, to still do that win only a couple of years ago, I think was amazing. But I just remember him appearing onto the scene as a young kid that just was incredible at jumping. He was just, in the dual slalom, dual days, was just amazing and had such talent at such a young age. And to think that he's 20 plus years, he's kept at this level to still be able to keep up with the youngsters is incredibly inspiring and shows that the dedication that he's given to the sport, and he's kept himself at that level injury free, to be honest. And it's amazing really to think that he's got through to this point, and what an incredible career. Very grateful to be part of it, and he's been an amazing part of our sport.
Well, I hope he's going to be around for many more years to come. Hopefully still riding the bike here in Andorra, even if we're not going to see him at a World Championship. And I'll be honest, I'm hoping he's going to change his mind after that race run. He still knows he's in touch. Now, let's go from one rider who's been around for a long time to one of our younger riders, 25 years old, Matt Walker from Great Britain, on his way down, multi-time British champion, into the course, into the top section. He's got to really put the pace down. He's going to come through to split one. Will he be up? Will he be down? He's got to try and stay in touch with that time. Coming down to split one, which was 21.115 seconds. And it looks like he's in touch. He's close at the moment at split one. What's he going to do on the rest? Of course, Tracy, this is somebody who could be right up there.
Yeah, definitely. Matt knows what it feels like to win at this level and to win a World Cup against a lot of these riders. World Champs again is a different thing, but he certainly knows that he's got the pace when it all comes together. And I think being in touch in that top section is really key for this race run. It's now about keeping that momentum, trying to keep it smooth, stay out of the holes, carry the speed, be strong. Slight stall there, I would say. Lost a little bit of speed as he comes to the gap here, but we'll have to see what that looks like on the splits.
So here he comes down. He's between split 3 and 4, and he's coming into split 4 now. 1.3 seconds. He's lost a little bit of time on that section. Sections 3 to 4 in between split 3 and 4 is absolutely critical. And Angel Suarez Alonso putting in an amazing run through there. He put in one of the fastest times we've seen through there by nearly a second, and that was really telling. At the top and the bottom, it has shown that it's so hard to beat. Walker's going to come close, but 0.921 down, pulling just under half a second back on that last section, puts him into third place at the moment. He's going to get a horsey boat. Little shake of the head there, and really indicative that maybe he thought he could just do that a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. The guys are finding it hard to find that time. I was expecting we would to see a few of these guys going faster, but it's obviously showing that the track isn't getting any faster as the day is going on, and they're all pushing the limit for sure. Matt's done a good run there, definitely be on the hot seat, but how long that'll last, we'll have to see.
Well, time to get ready for our next riders on a race run. Our next rider hitting the start gate should be one of our former champions. We've already seen a number down, but this is the man who's inspired some of the greatest quotes of all time. It is Danny Hart on his way down here twice, the world champion in 2011 and 16, a bronze medal in 2018. What can he do here today? This is a course he likes.
Yeah, definitely, and he looked fast in practice from the first day that I was here and saw him. I did think this was the kind of an old Danny, I would say, in terms of speed. And he's done well on this course previously, so I know he'll be desperate to find that World Champs winning form that he's had in previous years.
But we do know Danny Hart likes it when it's right on the edge, when it's wet, when it's muddy, when it's really grim. He's quick, but that shouldn't detract from the fact that this is one of the great riders out there, no matter what. Oh
yeah, and he got an inside on that section just back up there, which I haven't seen many people do yet. So he will get creative with his lines, which I think is always great to see. But he's lost a little bit of time down here, so 1.3 back. got a lot of work to do with not that much track left to do it on.
The first split, he was at 0.336. The second split, we've just seen 1.361 down. Can he pull out something special on those lower slopes? Hart has really got to work hard here. A man who not only rides, but also looks after the bike. It's absolutely, as per normal, Danny Hart taking it to the limit.
Wow, that was, he is pushing himself for sure and gained a little bit of time. This now is key. What he does through here is going to, I think, make all the difference.
Takes a low line to come through and in, having to pedal going over. It improved from 1.361 to 0.997. What's it going to be coming through? He's down half a second on the race leader. He's pulled back time on a section nobody has been really able to touch. Suarez Alonso on. What can he do here diving down? This is going to be key. Half a second down. Danny Hart has got to push now. He cannot afford to lose any time anywhere. He's got to make up time. Is he going to be smooth enough around this left-hand turn? Come on, Danny, this is the last moments, the last pedal strokes. He's going to come in with the fastest time so far. Big cheer from the crowd down here at the finish arena, 1.084. And at the moment, with such a tight course, that is a good gap to get at this stage.
Yeah, and he made some really good time at the bottom of the track, though. I think it's been hard to do for anybody else. So that is looking good for Danny. I think he'll be pretty happy with that run. It was loose, it was definitely Danny style on the edge at times. Then we get to get a replay here and see some of that action again.
Well, it wouldn't be a Danny Hart run, would it, without everybody just holding the breath at least once or twice on the run down, wondering if he's going to hold it together. But it works so well for him. It's just, you know, Danny Hart style is Danny Hart style.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see, you know, when you first watch practice and you see riders going fast, to think, is that indicative of what's going to happen on race day? But he definitely had speed from the start, and I think sometimes if you've got that confidence, you feel good on the track, you can maintain that through the week. It's going to be a good week, so great to see he managed to follow through and put a great time down.
Well, Danny Hart's time is the one to beat for the next man in start. Amaury Piron, the silver medalist from 2022, bronze medalist in 2019. What can he do here on the track here in Andorra? Really taking it to the limit of that post there, flicking that red post out of the way, trying to carry as much speed down into this section. This start absolutely critical. He's in touch at this split by the look of it at the moment split number one. He's at 0.393 of a second down. What's he going to do on this next sector? He's really pushing on. You can see the scale of that drop off from that side shot.
Oh, this guy's been incredible to see him come back from his injuries and the last two wins that he's had. He's crushed the men's field, so I know he's definitely one of the favourites here today. He's riding for the bike brand that's based at the bottom of this hill, so he'll definitely know the terrain here. He'll know this track really, really well. There's definitely going to be some practice done and some testing. So he'll be doing everything he can today to maximise his chances. And he's looking pretty good already. Slight stall in there, but he had some speed coming into that. Tucking down, trying to carry his speed.
A real sense of that pace coming past with 6 kilometres an hour on the clock, and he's 0.903 up at split number 2. So improving. Here's a time gap over Danny Hart as he comes down in the critical split. There is such a thing here is between splits 3 and 4 so far. That's been where the gaps have been made by the riders right up at the top of the hot seat at the moment. What can they do now? Here we go. Piron 1.220. He's absolutely smashing it.
Oh, he looked like he carried some amazing speed through there. Really on the edge, but not ragged. Just keeping the back wheel down, keep driving the back forward, keep carrying speed. So this is going to be the section here. What are we going to see him do? Gets on the pedals. Looks like that was pretty good through there from what we can see from this camera angle.
Absolutely diving down, a little back flick of the wheel coming into that section. Has it cost him any time? It has a little bit. He's 0.349 down, less than half a second in front of Danny Hart's time. Hart looks on at the moment. He's keeping an eye on that time. He knows he's got a long way to go because at the moment Piron is making his way down in. He's going to know Piron's going to take in quickly. There's lots more riders to come. What can he do? 2:38.944 the time to beat. He pedals to the line. Is he going to make him? Misses it. 0.174. 1/10, 7/4,000ths of a second, stopping him from taking top spot.
Danny did have a really good bottom section. I think that is going to be the key there. You could see that it just didn't seem like he had quite that speed at the bottom. So yeah, that's looking good. That's a good time, and Amaury definitely didn't make massive mistakes down here. So I think that's going to show that it's going to be hard to beat these times and take much more time out than we're seeing now.
So Piron, nearly a second, 0.9 in split 2. He was 1.22 up at split 3. And then that critical section going into split number 4, he started to lose that time. He lost a second in there, and then he held it. That section 3 to 4 that he said was critical was really proving so. He's going to see how he runs on the lower slopes. So let's see what's going to happen. Danny Hart down there. And congratulates Amaury Piron on a second place at the moment. He's going to go into second place, pushing Angel Suarez Alonso down into third place, but the man in the start gate now. This is going to be interesting. Bronze medalist in 2020. The man with the number 13 plate, Remy Therion, on his way down here. He is a consistent rider, and in some ways really surprising. He's only got a 1 world's medal at elite level. Yeah, Remy's probably one of the most consistent guys out there. He's always thereabouts on whatever track. Really kind of a style that's pretty unique as well. And he'll be wanting to put something on a kind of, again, the French have got a really good supporter. They always raise their game for world champs as well. They've always had a really good support network. People on course, timing, they just seem to raise their level when it comes to worlds. And he's been part of that squad for many, many years. So expecting something good from him today, I think. So looking like very smooth down here, as you say, a very unique start. You can see quickly onto those pedals, diving down, really is pushing here. Is he in touch at split number 1? He is. Split 2, it's not going to be long before we find out where he is on the course. He can't be far away from hitting that at the moment, 55 kilometers an hour, and he's up. He's up, so he was behind by 0.129 at split 1. He's up nearly half a second at split 2. What can he do? Coming down between 2 and 3 here. Oh, he's flying at the moment. Yeah, that looks good. He got that one left corner higher up that we could see really, really nicely and carried speed out of it, which is going to extend it down into here. Got that rock garden pretty good. We're now into the really high speed section, coming into the jump and then that really key wood section. Lost a little bit, but still in the green, so it's going to be really good to see what he can do from here. 600ths of a second separated him from our race leader at this stage, but we know that the leader in the house, Danny Hart, had a good section 3 to 4. That's going to be our next time split. This is where Danny Hart made time. He made time on that lower section coming into the arena. Here we go, split 4's coming up. What time's it going to be? He's coming through. He'd lost time. He's lost more time. He's lost a second and a half. Where did that go? That wood section is, there was 2 distinct lines and everyone was battling over which one was going to be. And the lower line, it definitely, you can come in so fast, but it's so blown out that you don't carry the speed. Well, carrying lots of pace through this section, coming down into the arena. Has he pulled time back there? He's got to really nail it now. What's it going to be? The time has already gone for Danny Hart. He's going to be into 5th place. And he lost that time. So critical. 2 lines to choose. The communication from the riders at the bottom to the top is going to be absolutely critical in this, isn't it? Because they know what's fastest lines are working for them, but it's not always the same. No, and I'm sure they will have practiced that section. You know, the other option was it was coming in a lot slower, setting up. It was almost like an S-bend, but then you came out higher on that piste. Because it is actually uphill. It's hard to see on the camera angle we've got there, but they actually they have to kind of climb up the piste into the next wood section. And if you lose speed coming out of it, you've got to generate all that speed again, and time just disappears. So it's going to be really interesting to see if that is going to be the key section of this course. And on the upper section, Therion was just down on the first section point, 1 second down, but then got back, and we thought, well, how could this be the run that's going to displace Danny Hart from the top spot? But losing that time lower down, it shows what a good run Danny had, because he was in touch at the top, but you can see at the moment Therion not able to keep it consistent to the bottom. Yeah, that's the art of downhill racing. You can be amazing in any one section, but it is the combination of all those sections, and it's that total time to get to the bottom. So it's such an amazing sport to be able to put that together on that one race run. And when there's so much at stake on a day like today, it's even more impressive that there's riders that have done this more than once in their career. Well, next rider heading down now, Thibaut de Perello, another of our French contingent here today, making his way down. He was 4th in qualification. He knows this course well. He knows what to do to go quick. He put in a good time. Can he match to potentially beat that time. He's got to go very, very fast down here, and he's absolutely nailing. He's looking quick at the minute. Has he got a fast time on the top? He has. Look at that, 0.9 of a section. He looked quick. He was quick. 0.9 and nearly a second here, Tracy. He's got to hold it together in these lower sections. That
was a really aggressive start, and I mean, he's a rider that will always hang it all out there, and it's often pretty wild to watch him ride. But that was a really, really impressive start. But yeah, like you said, can he maintain that now? And when it gets more technical, more precise, you still need to keep that speed, but not hang it out so loose. So it's going to be interesting to see how he gets on in this section.
So here we are coming down into these lower slopes here. He was up at split number 1, 0.9 of a second up. He's up at split number 2 as well. The time has increased as well. He's at 2:01.45, so 2.145 of a second up at split 2. He's coming into split 3 here. Has he held on to it? He's lost time, but he's still in front overall. 1.5 seconds in the race lead. Thibaut Toprella, after that blisteringly quick start, he had a good second section. Third section losing time now into this key third to fourth time split.
He is definitely taking some risks there. There's a big pedal coming out of that corner, so again, it's going to be hard to tell with this split. He's pushing it out there. There's some moments there when he's riding the front wheel. He's managing to stay strong.
And he's lost time, and again, another French rider losing time on that section. He's lost time, he's lost. It's gone from 1.5 seconds up to a second plus down. That's 2.5, nearly 3 seconds in that one section. So critical.
I can only think that lower berm that they're all trying to catch, has just got low. It's got a big hole in that's really stalling. That's the only thing that's going to happen, because they're all having the same problem in that section.
And if that's the case, they're going to need to be telling people who are coming after. Thibaut Toprella, the rider coming down, the 12th to last rider, with 11 more runs to go. And you can just see.
It's almost disbelief in his. Yeah. I think he feels like he did do it. Well, he did had an incredible run up here, and he was almost 2 seconds up at one point, and then he lost it in that one section. So I'm sure he'll know when he looks back what went wrong, but he feels like he's done the best run he could then, and he's not where he wanted to be at the finish.
Yep, fastest rider through all of the splits until we got onto that lower slopes, 3 to 4.
That was a wild moment there, as he got bucked by that rock, that if you don't manage to hop it, it does kick that back wheel. But he rode it out again with that looking ahead, that precision. You can just, you know what's coming next. You have to keep pointing in the right direction and go for it.
Now, next up, our defending champion from Glasgow in 2023, when we had the Cycling World Championships all in one place. Charlie Hatton of Great Britain, the next rider to go into the start hut. He's going to be our next rider on course. He's going to have the #1 plate, the honour that's given to the defending champion. What can he do here today? He's going to be our next rider down these slopes. What does he have to do today? He knows his team, seen his teammate go into the lead. He'll know that, won't he?
Oh, for sure. And I think Charlie's going to want to back up what he did last year on home turf, and it's definitely a much different course. Definitely different to a Fort William 5 minutes. This is a much shorter, faster, punchy track, and a different terrain entirely. But Charlie's got the skills. He can tuck in there trying to carry the speed. And he'll want to prove that last year he can back it up. So I know he's going to give everything. In 0.2, he's in touch at the top. He's not had the results this year that he's wanted, so he'll definitely be pushing hard this weekend. He's looked good. He looks smooth. Really nice, smooth line there.
And he is a tidy rider, isn't he?
Yeah, you definitely don't see him getting too crazy. And he kind of often flies under the radar, really realising how fast he is going, because he doesn't end up looking that flamboyant. But he's certainly pretty precise when it comes to things, and I think this track could pay to his advantage if he can just keep on being precise, not get stuck up in too many holes, and carry some speed. So still, in touch there.
0.278 at split number 2. He's actually got fractionally faster, 0.02 of a second faster. It's next to nothing, but it is an improvement. He's still down on the times, though. The leading time at this stage, he's got to keep on pushing all the way to the bottom. Hatton just getting into the air there, coming in towards split number 3, and again just losing a little bit of time now. 0.8 of a second. He's in touch. What can he do on the lower slopes down here? Coming in towards those critical sections, he's got to really make this count.
Looks like he's staying on that main line, but that looked pretty good. I felt like he was on the pedals early, not having to really push such a big gear. So it's going to be, is that going to be enough to have kept him in touch with Danny's time?
Well, he's lost time. He's lost big time again. That section, of course, costing the riders here. That's low line section really is taking its toll on the riders. They've really got to push all the way through there and getting that right line. Charlie Hatton, the defending champion at the moment, losing time. 2 seconds down as he comes through split number 4. He's going to run for the line. It's not going to be enough today, though. He's already outside the time, and he goes into 14th place, and that's going to be a disappointment for Hatton.
Yeah, it's amazing how you can be, within touch halfway down and then just lose that amount of time at the bottom. It's fascinating to watch, and that's what the beauty of downhill and watching it unravel and seeing how important those key sectors are.
So here we go, Charlie Hatton on these upper slopes, this drop cam, one of the amazing advances in technology, enabling us to get a real feel for just how fast it is down here. And he looked so quick. He was tidy on that top section. It's a real fast section of track. Maybe the more technical section just taking its toll. Yeah,
I definitely think it's the top section. There's not so much line choice apart from inside or outside of holes, and at the bottom section there's definitely some key places where the riders will have chosen their lines. And you can see they're constantly fighting to get the grip. I'm wondering whether the track really is starting to get slower in some ways because it's getting so many holes and it's getting looser. It's hard to know, and that's sometimes that disadvantage of being last rider down. You've got all the holes that everyone in front of you's just created, and the rocks they've moved out of the way. So it's going to be interesting to see whether we can still find some time on this track today.
Well, we have 10 more riders to do, so 10 more riders to go down in the start riders in the top of the world rankings overall. Starting from the start hut here on the top of the ridge in the Pyrenees in Andorra in Pal Arinsal. If you just joined us, welcome to the men's elite downhill. We have our current leader in the house, Danny Hart, 2 minutes 38.944, just ahead of Amaury Piron, who was up at the early stages, couldn't take away top spot. And Suarez Alonso, one of our earlier riders, putting in a great time, but steadily moving down through. He had a great late run as well in terms of sections 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to the finish. Really, really critical what you do at the end of the run. You set up the foundation early, you get a quick time. We have 10 more riders to go. The first rider away will be Bernard Coe through Dunn, Coulanger, followed by O'Callaghan. We're then going to see Isles, Shaw, Berger, Norton, Colburn, Bruni, but this is Bernard Coe on his way down the course here. Is he going to be a rider who is finally going to grab a medal here today? What can he do today, Tracy?
Well, you can never count out Bernard. He's got some amazing talent, whether it's hard line races or racing World Cup downhills or just general skills on the bike. He's got an incredible array of tricks under his sleeve, but just obviously losing a little bit of time at the top already. That's going to be hard, even though it's a tiny bit of time. Anything to gain back on this course, as we've seen, is going to be a really tricky. But Bernard will definitely working hard. I feel like the technical sections will play into his strengths as well, and just to see whether he can come up with any creative lines to gain a bit of time, to miss a few holes. We'll see.
And by creative, we mean something just that little bit more radical, using those skills when you're on the really extreme courses to your advantage on a section, of course, where maybe you can go that bit further, miss something out by taking an extra risk maybe, or just doing something that little bit different. Yeah,
just something different to the rest of your competitors, that they're not taking a line that no one else has ridden, so it doesn't have a braking bump, or it's just something that suits your riding style, or something that you've seen at a certain angle that's set up early to get out earlier. There's all sorts of ways, and everyone looks at their track in a different way, and he's one of those riders that will have a look and try and find a line that suits him. Nice wide turn there.
Yeah, and another example, not taking the more regularly used inside line, going on that wider line, coming over the top. He's still in touch at 0.9492 at the moment. The problem is, as you can see, that put him in. He was potentially 23rd position, but losing half a second at the top because everything is so critical lower down. Here we go, heading down the course. What can he do on these lower slopes? You can see the dust flying off the wheels of Bernard Coe from Great Britain here at the Elite Men's World Championships, the downhill finals, and he's won 7.66 at this stage at split 3. Really difficult to pull this back now.
Yeah, and that's lost some time before we even got to this next wood section, which has been so crucial. So unless he does something magic through here, I think he's going to struggle to regain that time. Again, yeah, slow on those pedals out of there. It's like you can see them having to come up the piece and put the effort in to get the speed back and recreate that for this section. It's going to be hard for him. Yeah, lost a little bit more there again. So sadly, I think that's going to be too late now for Bernard to bring that back. But
Bernard Kerr ran at 6th, 11th place in the World Cup circuit. In the world rankings, you know just how classy he is, how good he is all round. Today, not having that pace at the top, losing time all the way down. Last time split 3.70, 8 at split 4. He's going to have lost more time coming into the finish, 5 seconds plus. He's going to go into 26th place. Not his course, not his day today. And not necessarily course that played to his strengths.
Yeah, and I think, a really strong start there. He was in touch at the start of the course, and just as the race got on, just lost that pace. Whether that was just one mistake, lost the speed, and then it led to another mistake. And I think just slightly getting offline. It's such tight racing today on this course, and yeah, if you're not carrying that speed all the way through the middle section, through the technical bits, then you're going to struggle. There's no way you can really make it up lower down on the course. It's such a fast race today.
And really on the edge now, second himself up in the start gate. Next rider away, run and done of Ireland on his way down here. Can the Irishman, the youngster, only 22 years old, take this out? Absolutely throwing the kitchen sink there on his way round that turn.
Yeah, he put some extra pedal strokes in there, which I think no one else has tried to squeeze in there just to generate a bit more speed. Be interested to see whether that's actually helped him. Well, there you go. It may have done those extra pedal strokes, but yeah, it's an aggressive start from Ronan here. It's going to be great to see what he can do today.
So already up to the first split, 0.307 of a second with 21 seconds covered. That was split number 1. He's continued down here. Has he held that momentum? Those extra pedal strokes, hoping he's looking quick through here though at the moment. And again, they're really getting a few extra pedal strokes out, a little bit more drive, a little bit more momentum coming in, making his way down. What can he do here? It's a long way down between splits 1 and split 2. He's got to keep pushing though.
There's a slight stall there as he came to that section. It'd be interesting to see. That was a really fast start, but sometimes being too aggressive on here is not going to pay off. There's certain sections where I think you need to be calm and to carry your speed and just be patient, and there's other places where you can really let it go. So he needs to time it well. Inside, that looked quite quick, I have to say. Can't wait to see what this next split tells us.
So the next split down here, 124 from Danny Hart. He's up by 1.124 of a second here. Can the Irishman hit a post? Hart from the top spot in the house at the bottom of the hill here. Oh, it comes down that. He's absolutely straight lining that. There was nothing left there. That was absolutely on the limit.
That was full commitment, but then you could see he ended up drifting wider than he would like to have been and had to really kind of pull on the anchors to make the next section of track. So that might have cost him a little bit. We can see a tiny bit there.
It's only a tiny bit. He's still 0.952 to the 4 into the woods. He's going to go after this big jump. Can he keep this? Can he hold this lead? 9.52. He was up. He's got to keep pushing here. Pedaling through that section. Has he fallen for the low line trap? Here we come. Here's split number 4. Is he up? Is he going to hold on? All the time's ticking. He's lost time. It's 0.152. A tenth of a second down. It's not a lot. Is it going to be too much today? Hart almost unable to watch and hear what's happening. He knows he had a good low section. Can Ronan Dunn pedal this out? Here he comes, the left-hand turn. Every single pedal stroke's going to count. He puts a few in over the gap jump. He pushes the line. 0.726. He goes into 3rd place as he came in to the finish. That lower section there. Really counting and losing time after such a great stop. A good run comes in 3rd place in the finish at the moment.
Yeah, that just shows that even at the second up that you can lose that in the lower part of this track, which is incredible to see. So we some great shots we've got there as in boosting out of that section onto the piece. He definitely committed through here. Got some pretty wild lines and some full commitment to send through the rock garden, which I'm sure the fans up there are going to have absolutely loved.
And when you look at the riders that are in the top 3 at the moment, Danny Hart, Amaury Piron, run and done. 3 riders who've really committed, been right on the ragged edge. 3 riders, very similar in that sense. Riders who are going to push it to the limit. Next rider out, Benoit Coulange of France hits the slows. He's the penultimate Frenchman. Will he be able to get on to the top spot very quickly into this downhill section? He's got his work cut out, though. We saw that fast stop by Ronan Dunkley, the fastest time, and he's quicker. He's managed to go even quicker still, and yet looking smoother. He
always has got a very deceivingly smooth, fast style. He's not going to be super, super ragged, and he definitely went inside of that one big berm. Could have saved him a little bit of time not hitting those holes. It's going to be very interesting. Again, local to here, we'll have done a lot of testing on this course, and I'm expecting a fast run. He's one of the fastest French guys out there that kind of always flies under the radar. You don't always realise just how quick this guy is.
But another rider, when you look at him and his results, you think, well, he's never quite cracked that top as an elite in terms of a world championship. You would expect him, you know, you would think a rider that you would not be surprised to see him on that medal table.
Yeah, inside there, it's interesting to see. He's got the experience for sure, and it's just waiting for him to get it, to put it all together on that one day. And it takes sometimes a bit of luck, and sometimes just the moment where a track suits you, you take the risks, it pays off. And yeah, he's definitely putting together a really nice run here. Whoa, yeah.
0.75 up, really went in that left-hand turn where we've seen people go inside and out. He took the outside line and pedalled out of it really quick. He's very fast onto the pedals there, getting that drive, getting the power down. Through he goes, setting himself up nice and early as he went into that right-hand turn as well. Landed just where he wanted to. Can he continue to extend his lead from 0.078 to 0.78 as he came down between splits 1 and 2, comes into split 3, he's up again. He's getting more momentum. Can he build on that? He doesn't start it up coming up. He's absolutely got one thing on his mind, get down to that finishing line as fast as possible. Here we go, critical section in through the woods.
Yeah, that was some really nice, neat riding, I think, from Benoit there. We'll see, again, losing the time. I think we're going to see, again, some lost time there out of that section.
Will he have lost enough to push him down out of first place? He's still holding it, but he has lost time. Has he lost momentum as well? He's gone from over a second up to less than half a second up on Danny Hart. Here he comes down into these lower slopes. This is the last section before we come out of the woods. You can see the crowds around. They're going to be cheering him on as he comes down. It's going to be close to the line. What's it going to be? The last few pedal strokes, he dives for the line. He makes it by 0.135, a new leader at the finish line. Benoit Coulange, he knows he's done a good run. What a result.
Oh, that was amazing. That last wood section we saw, you could just see he got that absolutely perfect. Every little bump, he generated speed, and you could see the bike surging forward. I could see that was, yeah, that was amazing. He definitely rode that last wood section, the best I've seen so far.
Absolutely.
Look at that inside
superb.
there. So he's taken so much track out of there. Everyone else was taking those 2 berms, and he's cut inside straight away on that section.
And that every time you do that, you're just saving time, you're chopping time off the clock, and it all counts. And we saw him push all the way through. He lost time though at the very end of the course still.
Here we go again. That's trying to show, and yeah, he's been very, very neat, I would say, through those rock gardens. It was aggressive but really precise, and keeping wheels on the ground, maintaining speed. Really good to see.
So before that run, we were just saying, you know, we've got 3 riders who were throwing everything at it and really loose, and now we've had a really smooth and very smart, well thought out run, where you've got somebody who's been very, very neat. What's going to happen? We've still got riders making their way down, because our next rider down, a rider who's impressive as a youngster, Shane O'Callaghan. Let's see what he can do here today. 8th in the world ranking. What has he got in the bank today? What can he pull out on the run down here for Ireland?
Yeah, and again, another one of our talented young riders got slightly stuck in one of those holes. I can see. I feel like he might have lost a little bit. He's not going to have the fastest top section there, 0.5 back. So again, a smaller rider, went high there to try and avoid those bumps. Is he going to be able to carry and generate the speed on those high sections? I think when it gets more technical now, we'll start to see him open up some time. It's going to be... Oh!
And down he goes. That mistake is going to be the end of his hopes here today. Looks all right, but a mistake right up, really pushing it to the limit there. He's going to roll his way down in towards the finish, but it's not going to be a medal. It's not going to be a top position. Just take us through what happened. You can see him just really pushing through this section.
Yeah, it looked like he just got a little bit back and just lost the front. Yeah, just got bucked by something there. Potentially didn't quite get the setup for that corner. looks like he's got bucks, and then the front wheel's just, yeah, it's gone off the edge of that rock. It's just pushed off, and all those rocks are covered in with a thin film of dust from all the soil up there, and that dust is just super slippery. So yeah, just slightly offline, balanced in the wrong place, front wheel just pushes, and that's it on the floor. It's as simple as that.
And all those, every rock, each wheel, it's not just that you just got to get the bike right. Every single placement of each wheel, every single tire tread, it's just got to be so exact. Because once you lose that front wheel, once that mistake comes in, you are in major trouble. And it means it's going to be a longer time for him down to the bottom. He knows he's had a tough day there, and I think that's going to be the GoPro coming off and going to one side. Whether it got displaced and was rattling about after that crash, we'll find out. Some amazing great shots from our riders and all our riders across on social media. Make sure you catch up with the riders, support them and the teams. The riders need your support, and it's always great to get that inside track, and some great footage coming from the cameras on the helmets. Our riders at the moment will start trying to keep themselves focused. Can you juggle, Tracy?
Sadly not. That was impressive, yeah. I think I love to see these shots at the start, because this start hut is a really amazing place to be at the start of a downhill race, because it's often this silent place. Everyone's having their space. They're trying to find, they're getting in their zone. And as the riders get ticked off, there's less and less of you up there, and it becomes more intense. So there's Loris here with some kind of training technique. I actually don't know what this is, but maybe an eyes focus, an eye training thing. There's so many different ways the riders warm up. It's a very individual process.
Yeah, you can see his eye tracking up and down the beads there on the way through. Lots of stretching for Bruni though on the way through. No surprises. You've got to be so flexible on this.
Oh, you've got 2.5 minutes to basically put down the best run you can. You need to be ready. Your body needs to be warm. Your mind needs to be ready. It's here we go.
Well, this one man who's definitely ready for an elite or world's medal. Saw him in practice on the course, very focused on the run, sectioning some of the sections over and over again. I don't think saw anybody out there put in as many. Will he be able to stitch that all together here today? Finn Isles on his way down. Prodigious junior rider, a man who now needs to prove it as an elite rider. We expect this man to get a medal before his career is over. Will today be the day?
Oh, so that was a strong start as well. You can see him really pushing the bike, getting on the ground. Again, that looks quick coming through there.
Very quickly into this, he's going to tell us what his time is. I think he's just up at split number 1. He's going to come down in towards this big road gap. Over the top he goes, driving through that, continuing to push. Now he was in touch at split number 1. He was within a couple of seconds of the leader. You can't afford to be too far back. In fact, he was within 0.18 of a second at the first split. What can he do? He's in touch, he's close. He's got to pull out something special really now to get in front. You need every single part of this course to count. Isles coming down, the plume of dust behind him, wide line back on the pedals again, maybe not quite as quick as we saw Benoit Coulange out that single corner. Has he made it count? Here we go, it's time split. He has, he's made it count. He's 0.868, so just less than a second behind the race leader at this point. So he's got to keep pushing.
This looks really good so far from Finn. It's really precise. He looks strong on the bike. He's holding his line. He's not letting the bike, move him around. He's definitely in control of this one. And it looks like he's carrying some fantastic speed into this section.
So through a split at number 3 it goes. He's gone past the second barrier. It's 1.022, and that is a pensive looking Coulange in the finish gate there down on the hot seat. He does right to be pensive though, and focused up there. And I think Amaury Piron may well realise that his time is limited, but coming in now, how's he looking, Tracy?
It looked like he had to do way more kind of pumping. Hard to tell. There wasn't much pedalling going on, so maybe that was deceptive. But lost a little bit of time again in there, but not all over. But that is going to be tight now.
He's lost nearly a second as he goes through there. It was literally 0.02 of a second that he under a second he hadn't lost, and that is a crazy kind of time. To lose a second at that point, he's got to keep pushing. Will he be able to slot in front? This is going to be close. He's going to keep pedaling his way to that line. It's close, but it's not close enough. 200 0.2 of a second off taking top spot. Finn Isles moves into second place behind Benoit Collage. Amit Piron was going to move to fourth, and Danny Hart moved down to third. Top spot staying the same. Benoit Collage takes top spot from Finn Isles at the moment by 0.021 of a second. So close. Can anybody smash this apart afterwards? I mean, Isles could potentially have done it. It wasn't to be his day.
Yeah, I think we're gonna. I mean, it's great now. It's getting tight. It's getting what down racing is all about. It's that tight finishing times. It's so exciting. And I think he had an amazing top section. I think we need to see someone be able to continue that throughout the entire course. And is it possible? Well, I guess we're going to find out soon. But if he could have just maintained that pace in those last two wood sections, we'd have definitely seen a fastest time out there. So I think one of these next few guys is going to be able to put this all together. All those pieces of the jigsaw need to go together, and I'm sure one of them can do it.
Well, I love it when you make a prediction. Well done. I'm glad you put your name on there. The current top 10 in front of you at the moment. Still to come. Shaw, Vergier, Norton, Cobb and Bruni. Who can do it? Can anybody display Collage at the top? Lucas Shaw making his way down onto track at the moment. Can the rider from the United States of America displace the top riders here? The first split comes in just after 20 seconds or so. Is he going to be up? Really looking good, super low over that gap there, over the double very quickly again, and he's up by 0.194 here, so he's up. But we have seen that Finn Isles was up on the early section and couldn't make it count at the end. What can Lucas Shaw do on this track?
Looking super smooth start there from Luca. Really good face. Love to see those marshals cheering on the side of the track, really getting into it. And yeah, he looks like he's had a really nice start there with minimal, I would say, mistakes. The first rock garden looked really precise. He managed to jump and hop and make a gap. Looking good.
He's looking very good indeed on the way down. What can he do on this section? He's going to be coming in towards this bigger drop down. He goes over, hardly touches the ramp on the way through. They're just flipping it with the back wheel.
That was definitely fast in, but then he took that wider line around those berms. So it's going to be interesting to see whether that makes a difference. Again, there's always going to be a benefit of doing one or the other on the in or out. Inside on that turn, again, I mean, not quite the speed that we've seen some of the guys just before. So I think this next split's going to be quite telling.
So he was up, he was in front, he's now down. He's lost almost exactly 1 second in that section from split 1 to split number 2 as he goes down there. 0.957 down on the race leader. Split 3 comes very quickly indeed. Then we're into that critical 3 to 4 and the run to the finish. This is going to be key. Is he going to be able to pull some more time back? Has he been able to close the course down? Oh, it's holding. He's hardly changed the split time. He's matching the time of our race leader, Benoit Collage, over the gap jump into the woods. What's he going to do? Here we go.
He's going to need this to ride this bottom section better than anyone else so far. We're going to see. I think that was a stall out of that corner again. He's lots of pedal strokes to come into this section.
So 0.999 of the time as you went through split number 3, 2 seconds down. He hasn't just hemorrhaged time, he's pretty much bled it out there because that is all over. There's no way to pull back to second, surely on this last run down into the finish. Here we go, diving down he goes. What can he do? He's got to really push now.
That was a nice finish through those woods, definitely, but I still don't think it was nice enough to have gained back the time that he lost. Yeah, 2.6 down. That's going to be a disappointing run for Luca today after such a strong start.
So, not to be the day today. Lucas Shaw comes through. He goes down to the finish, losing time. Your top 3. You can see Hart, Isles and Collage, the riders in the top positions, with Amit Piron in 4th. Ronan Dunn currently sitting in 5th position. Alonso, in 6th. Oliver Davis in 7th. Thibaut Deprella at the moment in 8th. Remy Therion in 9th. And Matt Walker currently holding the top 10 at the moment. Not a run he's going to want to repeat. It just didn't quite manage to stitch it together where it mattered.
Yeah, definitely a strong start, and then just a few mistakes I think crept in. And I think once those mistakes start to creep in, then you lose that momentum down that course.
So back up at the start, the riders trying to stay composed, get ready for those race runs. Our next rider ready in the start hut, Loris Vergier, the rider who took a bronze medal in 2022 at Leger. Can he add a different colour today? Can he add a medal to his collection? He needs to get a good start here today. We've seen how critical it is to be right in touch at this point. Literally tenths of a second down here can result in being seconds down further into this course. Very quickly in over these big sections. He's going to come into this next gap, comes into the big turn here, and he's 0.29 of a second in front. He's got some time. He's got nearly a third of a second. What can he do? He's got to keep this pace now, not make any mistakes as he comes down and in.
That was a lovely smooth transition there into that rock garden. After a really fast start, you've got to kind of keep that pace but not override it, and I think Loris is always known for being such a smooth rider, and you can never ever count him out on whatever the course. He's got all the skills he needs on whichever terrain he gets to. So I know this is going to be a big thing for him. He's always so close to the top step, but always not quite there. So this has definitely been a goal on his for a long time. Interesting what line he takes here, whether he goes for that inside. Yeah, so inside again, holding it nicely.
Yeah, you could just see it just dropping away from him as he came through that inside line, but he held it super smooth. There was no excess of energy expended there. Wide line onto the pedals as well. Very similar run in lots of ways to Benoit Collonges so far. The time he's got a big 1:23.532 at this split. He does so by 0.513 of a second. He's up. Can he keep this going? 2 splits down, 2 splits and a finish to go. He's got to want to keep on accelerating through.
That was smooth through there as well. I think he managed to miss that rock, went inside of it. Dropping into here, carrying a nice bit of speed. He's just got to keep that pace now, because I feel like it doesn't feel like he's carrying quite the speed that Benoit did here, but we're soon going to see when we get the next split.
He's lost time. You're dead right there, Tracy. 0.105. He's lost time between those 2 splits, between split 2 and 3. He's got to pull it back. He goes low quickly, back on the pedals again. You can see them looking on from the base of the hill. They've done all they can. Back on the pedals. Has he lost time? I think he's lost a little bit more. Interesting line, though. Dives down the inside.
Yeah, that was good from the interesting one to see there. I do feel like he had to put some pedals on, yeah, and he's lost the advantage he had. It's not entirely over yet, but he's going to have the best bottom section through these woods that anyone has had so far to gain that time back.
So is this going to be the best bottom section? He's on the limit, but is he going quick enough? This is going to be where it counts. What can he do? He'd lost a little bit of time. He was almost in touch, but you can see the clock is ticking. He goes quickest. He does pull the fastest time at the bottom. How did he make that back into the hot spot? We have a new leader. Wow. He makes it down. What a run.
That was amazing. He did have the best bottom section that we've had.
Where did that come from? How did he do that?
Amazing. I didn't see that one coming. He definitely got that inside. Didn't go wide like some of those riders have done, but just carried the speed. You see how he popped out onto the piece there. He probably launched further than anyone, which made me think he's obviously generated some speed in those woods that we couldn't really see. And just got that last corner again. Yeah, that is an amazing ride from Loris. He's going to be absolutely stoked with that.
So here we go, we're going to be coming into our last ride. We're just taking a little look at this. Smooth inside, like that line where you cut the cut, you take that inside super quick and absolutely on the limit there.
Yeah, I wonder if he did do an interesting line in that section that we can't actually see on TV or not. But yeah, certainly this was nice, it was clean, he didn't get backed by those rocks. I think that was a really smooth run from Loris.
Well, 3 more riders to go. Well, we see Andreas Gold, the silver medalist from Glasgow in 2023, able to put those muscles to good effect. Not going to have long to find out the man in the start gate at the moment to go to Norton. Third to last rider away. What can he do here today? He would dearly love to grab a medal now. Age 32. Once upon a time we would say that, but Greg Minnaar has rewritten the age range for everybody, so still plenty of years of racing.
Yeah, loads of years if you want it, that's for sure. Greg's proved you can do it. It'd be interesting to see. That's a good fast start. It looks smooth, so often it's hard to tell, but that is a good fastest time so far in those top few corners. How's he come into here now? That was pretty a big jump into there. Maybe he went a bit deep, but he's keeping the pace. Looking good. You see him really having to work the bike there to try and keep it on the ground, keep momentum inside of some of those holes, getting some pedals on over that gap jump, and now into this section. Interesting to see what line he's going to take. Nice and smooth. And it's a change of pace going from that really fast open stuff. Setting up, I think, now to get gone wide, kind of in the middle, I would say. I'm not sure whether that was intentional or whether he wanted to go inside it but didn't quite get there in time. So I think we might see on the split now that there's been, for me, there's been a few mistakes moving in, but who knows? The time will soon tell.
We will soon find out on his way down that clock. This next split coming at 1:23 for Loris Verge. He's up. How is he up? 4.62, that's nearly half a second quicker. We knew he was up, but he's continued that momentum, taking that midline through, and look at this, he's absolutely flamed out. Oh, takes a big kick off that rock coming down in as well. Is he going to be able to keep this set up of 0.462 at the moment as he comes down? And this is half a second. This is the next split, split 3, 0.152. He's lost time. He is losing time. This is so close. I'm not sure the two riders from France can breathe down there. They're looking on into the woods, the critical section.
I love this with Dano because it's quite deceiving. It didn't feel like he's gone faster than the guys ahead of him, but again, on the pedals coming out of there, so this is going to be really interesting to see whether that advantage he's got he can carry into this section. Yes, he has gained a bit of time as he's gone through there. Wow, this is getting super exciting.
Dakota Norton, can he do this? This would be his first elite medal. Can he make his way onto that podium? He's got it within touch. No! How?
I thought he was taking some new line we hadn't seen, to be honest, there, because I was like, wow, but he's just got that wrong. He didn't quite get the corner before it and has ended up inside of there and then just couldn't make the turn. Oh, that is devastating for his ride today.
You've got to feel for Dakota Norton. The very last exit out of the woods. We saw riders crash in there in practice and in some of our finals earlier on. Not to be, he was up, he looks all right, which is always our first concern, but he is going to be devastated. That was a race-winning run at that stage, and it just went wrong on that very last turn.
Yeah, and he won't realise at this point that he was up on the race leader. I think when he does, even more of that frustration will set in. But yeah, I mean, up to this point, he was our race leader, and all the way, he even made time through that one section that nearly everyone has lost time on today. So that was a special run. I think we're going to hopefully see. He's gone inside where people have been going. Just you can see there, he's right on the right side of the track.
Almost just loses the back wheel coming around there. There's what you can't see on that little six. There is just a little bit of a drop down there, isn't there?
Yeah, and it's so precise getting in those little berms and things that catch you to turn you. And if you miss one, it's all over.
Well, let's see what the silver medalist from Glasgow from 2023, Andreas Kolb of Austria, can do. Will he go from hero to zero? We're going to find out. Here we go. The first split, he's got to be up here or within a few hundredths of a second and then get quicker on the way down. We've seen how important it is, and he's just down 0.2 of a second at the moment. Is that going to be too much momentum loss coming into the next section? Here we go.
Nice and smooth. They're not jumping too deep onto that section. Got past that sketchy bit where we saw Ocean Cap crash earlier, and now just out back into the open, again carrying speed in these turns.
Watching this right turn onto the pedals over the road gap here, drops down, keeping it smooth. What can he do? Coming down quickly over that drop off into these turns, trying to keep as much speed, as much momentum through these turns. You've really got to carry everything in. What's he going to do? This is a critical line choice here.
He's gone wide to carry some speed. That'll be really interesting to see what this next split tells us. You certainly don't have to brake as much when you come in, so you do come in with a little bit more speed, and then you've got to let go again down here. Outside wide, slight stall possibly in there. We're going to see now when we get to the split time any minute now.
Here we go into the split, 1.065 down. At the moment, that's where we stand. as Andreas Kolb goes into these lower sections. That is surely too much time to come back, but we've seen surprising, we've seen shocks already, we've seen riders go out of context, we've seen people pull time back. I'm not sure you're going to be able to pull 1 second back on the last run down here in between splits. At 3 and 4, he's going to have a perfect run, but we didn't think anybody could pull out time on that last section from split 4 to the finish, and it happened. Here we go, over the big gap jump by the Cafe, dropping down into our next woods and then across the piste.
Yeah, and he's lost a little bit more time back then, so I think this is going to be really hard to... And again, slow getting out of the pedals there. I really don't think he's going to have gained any time through that section, and it's going to be hard now to pull that back.
Here we go, the time hemorrhaging, disappearing off, and at the moment that gap now out at over 3 seconds, 3.418, the gap between our leader's time and Andreas Kolb. It's not going to be a medal today. Takes slightly tighter inside line into that right-hand turn through without washing out. Almost gets bounced out into the piece on and over the gap jump, lands it a long way in, 5 seconds down, puts him into 29th place. He's going to trouble the top. It means we have 1 more rider to go, though. That means there's only 1 more position that can be shuffled from the top here. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, because we have only 1 more man to come, and that is going to be the man who has taken titles in 2015, 17, 18, 19 and 22, like Bruni himself. Got a feel for Kolb, not on it from top to the bottom. It just started to really just continue all the way to the bottom.
Yeah, I think if you lose that kind of focus, or you just get something wrong, it's really hard to pull it back. And these guys are riding on such an incredible level now that you've got to be on it the entire way down.
So we take a look up the hill. You can see the track weaving its way down in the myriad of trails here in Pal Arinsal in Andorra. Our current top 10, you can see at the moment we have 2 Frenchmen at the top there, Berger and Collonge. This could be a complete French podium. What can Bruni do here today? The man sitting in second place overall, 5 titles to his name. He's got to get this absolutely millimetre perfect, absolutely laser focused in practice. A man who you've seen preparing at the top of the hill, now into this upper section. The first split here will be absolutely critical.
This is a man who makes smooth look smooth, and here we go, 0.2 up already. This top section definitely plays to Loic's strengths, that he's just so precise, he carries speed, and he just makes it look easy, which is absolutely nothing easy about any of this course here today. Oh, a slight slip out there, possibly looking at the drone footage, hard to tell from the angle, but nothing that's really going to lose too much time at this point. He's chasing the drones, trying to keep up with him. Over the gap jump there, looking smooth. Whoa, that looks like there's some pace going. That is fast into that section, and then slow it down into those turns. Just managed to control the speed coming into there. Over the bridge. This is looking fast. A nice inside line there. I think that was that's definitely been the faster line. All the top guys have taken that choice.
So Bruni on his way down, takes a wide line, pedals out again, absolutely on the edge of that berm, really tucking it underneath the vertical edge of it, over the top there, and the 0.697 at the moment. This is going to be as close as they come down. The split times are telling us that this is going to be right to the edge of our seats. I think this is going to be so tight when we come in. He has lost a little bit, I think. Well, has he? We're going to come into split number 3. He's still looking, as you said, smooth.
No,
smooth.
He looked so clinical through those rocks.
He's killing it! Oh! No! He's come down, he's come down. He took so much time, he went to 1.8 of a second up. He has gone down, he has hit the flat, it is all over. Loris Berger, along with Benoit Collonge, cannot believe it. He pushed it to the limit, he pushed it to the edge. He was the fastest man on track, just like we saw the Captain Norton. And Loris Bruni goes out. What? How on earth did we come to the point of this, that we see a man who is an absolute legend lose it, and on somewhere where we've not seen that kind of problem before?
I was just saying how absolutely pin-perfect accuracy we had through that rock garden. And I need to see what happened here, because this is coming out onto the piece, I'm pretty sure we're at. Maybe he just had so much speed that he just lost as he came out of there. I really hope we can get to see that, because that was very, very uncharacteristic of Loic, that's for sure.
So where he comes out onto the piece, this is the cafe jump he started up. Now, I was stood at the side here whilst he was doing this in practice, and he was pausing pretty much on most of his runs down there, just on the entry in. Let's watch this again. He goes out, and he loses it.
Wow, just as he's coming out and pushing onto that piece, he had so much speed. You could see that he's turning, and the looseness of that, but wow, what a day for this young man. Loris has been second, I don't know how many times, and always kind of played second place to Loic, so yeah, here we go, starting up from the ground.
Here we go.
Incredible.
Yeah, he knows exactly what cast out here. He knows the time has gone, but you know what? He gives the crowd a show as well on the way into the finish, and you can see they go down. And I think, to be fair, Bruni is almost as happy here for Loris and for our medalist as he is for himself. He's been there. He knows what this means.
Those guys are really, really good friends as well. It's amazing they can be such competitors, but they are. They train a lot together. They spend a lot of time together, and I know that. Yeah, I know Loic will be absolutely gutted on one hand, but also incredibly proud of what his teammates done. And Loris deserved that. That's been a long, long time coming.
Absolutely brilliant to see. You can see the emotion the moment that he knew he had that. He knew what he had done. What an amazing run by him to come down, to find that time to come through, to take that. Loris Verger, the 2024 UCI mountain bike downhill men's elite champion. He is the man of the moment.
Oh, that is great. I think when everyone knows, you've been racing the same people for a long, long time, when someone's been so consistent on so many podiums and yet never won that elusive title, I think the whole mountain bike community is going to be celebrating just as much as Loris is today for him.
Well, it's going to be a massive party.
It's already
all the way
started.
through the night, and it's already started. The legendary celebrations of downhill are coming, and you've got to feel there for Bruni. I mean, he was on the run, as was to go to Norton, and you saw the two of them. They were absolutely on limit. It's such a fine margin between coming through and taking away a World Championship victory and crashing out.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've seen so few crashes really today. The ones we have been really, really key to the result of the race. It's been these top guys, and it just shows that they are on their limit. They've practiced this all week long, and this has been their, the run that they've dreamt about, and they've just overcooked it that little bit, which, here we go again. Just turning in, you can see the front wheel hit something, bounces up, and I mean, that is a high-speed crash, and probably somewhere that you would never expect to have got wrong. I don't think anyone's probably had that problem earlier on in the week, so...
No, and that was the point. He was pausing to go practice the next section. That was how he was getting his run down and in. And you can see at the moment just how crazy the crowd are about that. It is going to be what feels like a home win, I think, here for Verger. You can see exactly what it means for him. His team, his commercial team, as well as his nation, are going to be absolutely overjoyed with that, to take away a win here today. And as you say, it's been such a long time coming. He has been that eternal second, but not anymore.
Yeah, he actually is one of many riders now that kind of make Andorra a home, and he's certainly no stranger to the riding out here. So again, it's almost like a home race for him too.
Great to see. I mean, I know you said that they're friends, but when you won 5, I don't know whether it hurts a little bit less just losing it on the end. I'm not sure. There's only one man who can probably answer that.
Yeah, I think so, and I think there is something that it's an incredible thing to achieve once in your life, and to do it more than once, I think is an incredible achievement. And Bruni will always be the incredible rider that he is, and I actually genuinely think he will be. Genuinely really, really happy for Loris to another Frenchman. Keeping the country is always good for those guys, and that is a fantastic result. And I don't think there'll be anyone here that isn't happy for Loris today.
Well, he put together a fantastic race, a run as he made his way down, going through those splits. A fantastic finish by him as well to move himself up into top spot. And he was just hovering in the right kind of place until that very last run into the line from a split 4 down into the finish. He pulled it out when it mattered, and that's the mark of a champion. And look at the surprise on his face. He was looking at it going, no, yes, 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 and he knew he got it. And you can see, look at that. Absolute celebrations here. Look at that. What great to see. We've got Greg Minard there congratulating Loris Vergier. Let's see what he's got to say. Loris Vergier down in an interview.
Loris Vergier, you are the 2024 downhill mountain bike world champion. We can barely hear ourselves here. You broke down in tears. Just describe to us what this means to you.
It's like I've been unlucky in the past years, and I got lucky this time. It was unreal. It was a bad season, and I turned it around today. I didn't expect it, and thanks for Loic to crash, because otherwise it would have been so hard, but I'm world champion. Wow, it's insane, insane.
Just talk to us about that run. You attacked it, you came away, and you absolutely obliterated it. You just had to be fearless.
It was loose. I had a beam, my helmet first split, and I started thinking like I was a bit out of control, and I kept on pushing until the finish line, and it's so tight. So I'm glad I made that push, and I can remember this day for the rest of my life.
What a podium it is as well. You know, you've got a fellow Frenchman on there with you. I mean, the French team, they're just so strong, aren't they?
It's insane. I thought we were going to do like 1, 2, 3 again, and I would be second this time. And Loic gave me that win. It's unreal, unreal. Like, I'm so lucky, I'm so happy.
Enjoy the rainbow jersey.
Oh, great to hear from him here. And well, it was straight on his lips, wasn't it? You know, seeing that, he knew that he got that pretty much because there was a crash, but you've got to be there. You've got to be in position. You've got to be the guy who's sitting in the hot seat with one rider to go, and when that one rider doesn't make it, you get that. You earn it. It's not a gift.
That is bike racing, and that's the thing, and that's why it is the race to the finish line. And there's many a chance where he'll have been in the receiving end of other people making mistakes and vice versa. That's just part of the racing game. And yeah, he definitely was the fastest guy down that track today and the deserved winner.
Well, we can see his time there, 2:38.66.1. As we scroll through the results, a fantastic finish from Vergier, from Coulange as they came in through to the finish. A great result, and gotta say the French were on course for having 3 riders at the top. It didn't pan out in the end with Isles in there. Danny Hart just off the podium with Perron had done so as Alonso with a great ride by him. And great to see those riders maybe that we wouldn't have expected in those earlier runs up inside the top to get some great results.
Yeah, it showed that those early runs definitely held up. The track conditions didn't get any easier, that's for sure. And yeah, what a fantastic race we've had today.
A great track, a great downhill, a downhill that has shown just why we love this sport. We love downhill. We love to watch it. We love to be here at the World Championships. And I've got to say, we didn't expect maybe quite as much drama coming into this, but then maybe we should have done, because downhill, it is not a simple game. It is a really complex sport where you really have to get absolutely everything dialed today and pull it out when it matters. I mean, that final section for me is really going to sum up. Coming into that final section, Vergier not able quite to be on the pace to that, but then that last section he pulled it out and just dialed it.
That's why downhill racing is, you never know what you're going to expect. It's always going to be an amazing spectacle, and one day World Championships always elevates that. I think there's so much on stake. You can see how much that means to Loris to win that rainbow jersey. It's something he's dreamt about, as many of these riders will be dreaming about next year already, and the chance to go again. And it does make such a special occasion when it becomes a World Championships, and today certainly delivered for us, I think.
I think it has delivered in spades, and we will be bringing the podium to you very shortly indeed. We're just waiting for those to be assembled. Some great racing here today in the women's and in the men's elite competition. Great racing all the way through the weekend in the various races that have taken place in the age categories from juniors right the way through under 23s to elite, in the cross country, in the short track and in the Olympic distance. It's been keeping everybody entertained. Some fantastic fans as you would expect for downhill and for cross country. And again, I was lucky enough to be here in 2015 for the World Championships. I was at the side of the crowd there cheering on that year, and the atmosphere once again absolutely electric down there. The crowds, the volume of people coming onto the hill, onto the mountain has been fantastic.
Oh, it's great, and there is such a pride thing. You see people dressed up in their nation's flags. They've got face painting. You know, they make a real effort to make this a special event, more than it is at World Cups, I think. And I definitely think friends and family make that extra effort to come. So it's a very special occasion, and the crowd makes it as well. Having that fans cheering you down the side of the course and knowing what's at stake. All these riders will remember every World Champs they ever do.
I'm sure you remember every single one that you did, and the year that you took that title, you took that World Championship, and that for you was, you know, was that a career-defining moment? That was the pinnacle?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I've done lots of other amazing things since that. If for me, maybe as a rider, was kind of maybe gave me as much satisfaction. But to be on that list of world champions and to still be on the wall here in the booth with all the winners, it's amazing to actually, you know, to be one of that kind of rainbow club, to have that jersey, and that's something that never gets taken away. And you know, you get to wear the rainbow bands on your sleeves and your cuff when you continue racing, and it's something that everyone can really relate to. A world champion is a world champion. It's a champion of the world, and you're the fastest person in the world on that day, and it is incredible, and that's what I think makes these events so exciting. It is the pinnacle of our sport.
Definitely, and great to have you here with these insights in the commentary box. And if I don't get thanks, time to say thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tracy.
Thank you.
Don't disappear anywhere, though, because we have got our podiums coming up, and we're going to see just what it means to our riders here in Pal Arinsal in Andorra, and then a fantastic venue for the Mountain Bike World Championships, somewhere where you can come and ride whatever level of ability. You've got those tracks for absolutely everybody, whether you ride on a road bike, a gravel bike, mountain bike, downhill bike, cross country, whether you're into your mountain bike marathon. There's so much to do here, and I'm sure down in La Massana, which is the town at the base of the hill at the bottom of the gondola, there's going to be a serious party tonight with the teams down there at the end of the racing. So the riders are going to be ready for the podium. The emotion will continue onwards a lot longer. An amazing race finish, full of drama. And let's see who's happiest here. I'm not sure whether we're going to see Bruni being just as happy now. Very good to see the camaraderie between the riders. And as you've said, Tracy, everybody races each other at the World Cups, at the podium, you know, out on around the circuit. Everybody's out there doing that. It does become somewhere where you really can get close to people.
Oh, definitely. And I think the nice thing about downhill particularly is you are racing, obviously, other racers, but it's you against the clock, which makes it different.
Well, let's take a look back at the highlights from today's racing here in the men's elite race. Great riding by Finn Isles, a man who was right on the limit. He was up, he was making his way in. Could he absolutely nail it? Well, he came down. You can just see a great run by him, and nice to see Finn Isles finally maybe getting the medal we've expected for a while. Yeah,
he's definitely got, you know, he's such a strong rider, and when he gets it right, he's one of the guys that you really can't count out at any race. And yeah, great to see him get a result on a track today, but it was so tight with those times. Fantastic.
And as he came into the finish, you could see he was chasing that time of Benoit Coulange. He was really up in the mid. He lost it later on. The man in front of him, Benoit Coulange, had gone down earlier on in the day. Super smooth rider, the first sort of real smooth ride that put him right at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, great to see again. I said it before, it's one of the French riders that doesn't really get a lot of the credit because there's so many other amazing French riders, but himself he is an incredible bike rider. I think really today he's been put on the pedestal where he should be as one of the world's best bike riders out there. It was really fantastic to see he put together that run, and yeah, he's up there in the silver medal place.
Taking away second place, Pal Arinsal came in. He was the fastest when he came in. His time in there was not beaten by the riders after for a little while. The man who came down, well, what did this man do in the last section of the course? He was all over the place. He was really trying to pull out something special. You could see as he comes diving down here, there's some nervous looks on the faces as they came in. He was 0.2 up, he was 0.5 up. Then in this middle section, this is where you really have to push on. Coming into the finish, it was so close. He nailed it into the line and took the spot by 0.148. He really pulled it on that last section after putting hearts in our mouths and taking away a top spot here today. Great ride by him. Vergier, so deserving.
Oh, hugely, and yeah, I mean, he puts credit to his win just from this crash from Lowe, but I honestly think, you know, Loris put together a fantastic run. I think, and he really showed me that the race isn't over until you cross the line. There's a few pedal strips there that we just saw then in that replay that he was giving it every single bit to the line, and that 0.1, I think, was won almost from the wood section to the finish, and that just shows you think you've got through the hardest stuff, but you've got to get across that finish line, and every pedal stroke counts.
And what a ride by Loris Vergier. And you've got to say, it's okay being the fastest at those splits, but if you are not in the finishing line, you don't make it over the line in one piece, and you don't come off, you know, if you deck it, that's it, it's game over.
Yeah, it's such a great sport because you have to take that risk, but you also have to try and calculate that risk, and hopefully that, yeah, you get it right.
Everything came right today on the way through, absolutely getting everything down. The bike, the run, the ride, taking it to the limit as far as he needed. Now time for us to head down into the podium. You see the massive crowds steadily making their way down. Still literally thousands and thousands of people up on the hillside here who watched the run, making their way down to the finish area here today for our podiums. And they've watched some great racing here today. And Tracy, if you're in these crowds, if you're one of the riders at the side, you know, one of the people at the side, I know a lot of the people who come down, you know, they might be part of the team, they might be an ex-rider. It doesn't change, does it? It's just an amazing place to be.
Oh, I think there's nothing better than actually witnessing a bike race for real on the side of the course, because even as much as the camera footage is amazing, we can showcase what these guys do, until you actually see it for real, you don't appreciate the steepness of the terrain, the speed that they're going, you know, the gaps that they're going through on the trees. It's phenomenal, and there's only one way to see a mountain race, and if you do ever get the chance, you know, do come trackside, because it's an incredible spectacle, and you'll have such a different appreciation for quite what these riders do and the talent that they have on a bike, and they make it look absolutely easy when it's far from that.
And that's the problem, isn't it? It almost looks easy till it isn't, and we see somebody on the floor. It looks so smooth. They make it look easy, and yet, you know, your average cyclist just can't ride this. Even a great mountain biker can't touch what these guys and what the men and the women are doing on this, because they are so far away from an ordinary rider, and yet, you know, we all love riding.
Yeah, and the amazing thing about this sport is you can actually come and ride the terrain. Potentially this track, there's some sections I'm sure that won't be open to the public, but everything else around it is right there, and you can actually come and almost, you know, have a go and see what it likes to ride this terrain at any time. You can come and, you know, rub shoulders with these riders, you can stand on the course. Everyone in mountain biking is so personable and so approachable, and it's amazing. If you come, you can walk around the pitch, you can see all the commercial teams there, and you can go and have an autograph, and you can chat with those guys, and it's such a lovely sport, and you really can take your mountain bike and do something similar to these guys. I won't say it's the same, but you can certainly come and ride down the side of this course and have an idea what it looks like, and yeah, if you can, get yourself to the next year's World Championships, because it's such a special race.
It is indeed. It's going to be amazing racing. That is going to be over in Valais. Well, it's time for us to head across and see who's going to be taking those jerseys into Valais. So our women's race, fantastic race. Great to see Tony Seagrove take away a third place back with a bang. Big stuff.
Yeah, and the same with here. Miriam, again, back to form, and to see those girls all battling the time so tight. Amazing ride for her today. She'll be really happy with that.
Two riders who have been out and racing for a long time. The newcomer a little while ago, but the defending champion, making it 3 in a row. Valentina Hall, Valley Hall, doing an amazing job as per normal, and really she looked like a champion all the way down there. Yeah,
she did, and it's amazing that she didn't feel like she had that. She hadn't got the confidence to do it, but I think every race she's going to grow now and become, you know, more and more of a champion that she is.
Well, it's time to see our top 3 riders on stage. It's the medal ceremony for the women's elite mountain bike downhill.
UCI Mountain Bike World Championships Women Elite Downhill.
Cerimònia protocol·lària dels campionats del món de mountain bike UCI 2024. Descens Elite Femenina.
The medals and jersey will be presented by Monsieur David Lapartien, President of the UCI.
Medalles i mallots seran lliurats pel senyor David Lapartien, el president de la Unió Ciclista Internacional.
In third place and winner of the bronze medal, representing Great Britain.
En tercera posició i guanyadora de la medalla de bronze, representant la Gran Bretanya,
Tony Seagrove!
So Tony Seagrove steps on to third place. Great to see her on our world's podium. A rider who has gone through
in second place and winner of the silver medal, représentant la France.
En segona posició i guanyadora de la medalla d'argent, representant França,
Miriam Nicole.
So Miriam Nicole, one of those riders who had 2 wins in the World Championships to date. Silver medal today for
first
the French
place,
rider.
UCI World Champion and winner of the gold medal, representing Austria.
Primera posició, campiona del món i guanyadora de la medalla d'or, representant Àustria,
Valentina Hall.
So for the 3rd time in a row, Valentina Hall pulls on the elite women's world champions jersey, the iconic rainbow stripes adorning the jersey, the gold medal around her neck. Your 2024 UCI world champion in the women's elite downhill is Valentina Hall of Austria. What a ride, what a rider. 3 so far. Will she reach the top step? 9 medals is the record so far for gold medals. That's a big ask, but boy, she started out in the right way.
Yeah, she's definitely left herself a few years to try and beat that tally. But I still think there's going to be a lot of youngsters. We've got some amazing junior female riders that have set some incredibly fast times this year. I think they'll be gunning at her heels pretty soon.
Well, some great competition so far, great competition to come. And Valentina Hall will be looking to try and make it 4 in a row, I'm sure, when we go over to Valley, which is the downhill World Championships. The mountain bike World Championships coming from Valley for 2025. But your 2024 World Champion is Valentina Hall of Austria. And she is the rider who gets all of the prizes, the awards, as well as the jersey and the medal here today. A great ride, a great rider, and lots more to come.
Ladies and gentlemen, in honor of our new UCI World Champion, we present the national anthem of Austria.
Senyores i senyors, en honor a la nostra nova campiona del món, UCI, us presentem l'himne nacional d'Àustria.
Ladies and gentlemen, your applause one more time for our medalists.
So Valentina Hall takes away top spot, the world champion for 2024. Her winning time 3 minutes behind her, half a second down. And Miriam Nicole taking away the silver medal and taking away the bronze medal in third place. Tani Seagrave just over a second behind the race. A winner. 3 nations represented on the podium: Austria, France and Great Britain. And our medalist duties will begin the moment they step off that podium, because it's beaches time. It is going to be signing just all those things that come with it. Does that go by in a blur, Tracy? You've been there, seen there, done it, got the stripy jersey.
Yeah, I mean, I think I remember the most treasured memory was that national anthem playing, I think, and seeing your flag raised. That's the only thing, wasn't the lasting memory. These bits afterwards, I guess, I can't really remember massively, but yeah, it's just, yeah, hearing the national anthem was something that was so special. And looking down and seeing the first time those rainbow bands on your jersey was just, I remember being amazing.
A fantastic race in the women's competition. Well done to all of our riders who have been racing. Well done to our medalists. We're going to be getting ready. The podium's reset. The crowd's resetting for the men's podium that will be coming up very shortly indeed. The sun continues to shine here in Andorra in Pal Arinsal. A little bit more cloud building here through the day, but not affecting the racing in any way. Really great to see similar conditions for all the riders down there. The conditions not really changing from start to finish, and that means a very, very fair race.
Yeah, definitely. We've had plenty of times, and certainly the race here last year was hugely affected by the weather, and it does certainly change things. It makes it a lot easier for some than others, but today was, yeah, a great race to have. Certainly fair. The conditions were the same for everyone, and it changed a lot over the week, but it was a challenging course, and I think we saw some fantastic racing. The guys were definitely pushing, well, all the girls as well, pushing themselves to the limit to get that fastest time today.
So great to see our riders. We're here in the mountains where the weather is very changeable indeed. We're not sure whether it'll affect all the races or whether they'll all have sunshine, but with lots of great racing here. Please do catch up with all of the racing whenever you can, whether that's watching the action or whether that's catching all media across the various social media platforms, catching up with your favourite riders, your favourite teams. Don't forget, you can grab hold online. It is hashtag Pal Arinsal Andorra 2024 at UCI Mountain Bike, and the UCI's website is www.uci.org. Sadly imprinted in my memory bank somewhere along the lines. Don't forget, you can keep up with what Tracy Mosley is doing online as well. You can even go to Tracy Mosley's website, which I think is www.tracymosley.com, isn't it?
Well done there, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Guess.
It was a guess. Yeah, anyone would think I hadn't been on that website several times before we sat in the commentary booth together, or in our case, stood, because there was no way the chairs were staying put as we came into the finish. You keep up with me at Matt Fixer Bain. But please do join us for all of the race action. We're going to go across to the men's action, and let's have a recap of our top 3 riders in the men's race here today. So great race action, taking third place, taking away the bronze medal, Finn Isles, a rider who's promised much, delivered today.
Yeah, fantastic ride from him. I think a really, really solid performance. And yeah, he'll be happy with that one.
In second place, Benoit Collonge, a rider who we have been waiting to take a medal. Super smooth on his way down, really creative with those line choices, taking that tight line on the way in. He ended up being ahead of the man who pulled it out at the last gasp, Loris Verger, making the realisation that the title was his when, like Bruni, crashed at the last rider down, unable to take away the spot claimed by Verger. Time to see him and the riders on stage. It's the medal ceremony for the men's elite mountain bike downhill.
Of the 2024 UCI Mountain Bike World Championships Men Elite Downhill.
cerimònia protocol·lària dels campionats del món de mountain bike UCI 2024 d'ascens èlit masculí.
The medals and jersey will be presented by Mr. David Lapartien, President of the UCI.
Medalles i mallot seran lliurats pel senyor David Lapartien, president de la UCI.
In the third place and winner of the bronze medal, representing Canada.
Tercera posició i guanyador de la medalla de bronze, representant a Canadà,
Finn Isles.
So Finn Isles takes away the bronze medal here at the 2024 Mountain Bike World Championships at Pal Arinsal in Andorra for Canada, making that step onto the elite podium in third place.
In second place and winner of the silver medal, représentant la France.
en segona posició i guanyador de la medalla d'argent, representant França,
Benoit Coulons.
The first of two French riders taking a step up onto that podium today. Benoit Coulons taking a well-deserved silver medal and taking away second place here with a great race run.
In first place, UCI World Champion and winner of the gold medal, représentant la France.
primera posició, campió del món UCI i guanyador de la medalla d'or, representant la France,
Loris Berger. And ladies and gentlemen, to join Monsieur Lapartien to present the gold medal, please welcome Greg
i
Menard.
aquí tenim lliurant
So Greg Menard, an absolute legend of mountain bike over so many years, joining David Lapartien on stage, president of the UCI, the man who heads up the organisation who looks after the whole of cycle sport. Well, very fitting to have that medal presented, and you see just what it means to Loris Berger, the 2024 men's elite downhill mountain bike world champion.
The gifts will be presented by
els obsequis seran lliurats pel molt il·lustre senyor Raül Ferrer, ministre de Territori i Urbanisme.
Well, really mind-blowing, I think. That emotion, the feeling on that stage, I'm sure nothing can replicate that.
Oh no, it's amazing. I still I got tears in my eyes now thinking about it. But I just know how much it means to that guy there. And it's so cool to see someone who actually can show that as well. You know, to really, you can see how much he's wanted that and dreamt of it, and now it's the day that it's certainly a special day he won't forget.
Yeah, it has become a reality. He is going to have that sinking in even more over the next hours, days, weeks, and the whole year. And amazing to see Greg Menard on there presenting the jersey and medal.
Ladies
What
and
a
gentlemen,
ride.
in honor
That's
of our new
a great
UCI
ride by
World
our
Champion,
French
we
world
present the
champion.
national anthem de la France.
Senyors i senyors, en honor al nostre nou campió del món UCI, us presentem l'himne nacional de França.
can see the emotion all across the podium here in Pal Arinsal. As the French national anthem played, the respect shown to our medalists. To Finn Isles in third place with the bronze medal. Benoit Coulange of France with the silver medal in second place. The race winner, the world champion for 2024, Loris Berger of France with the rainbow jersey. The riders now posing for photographs. They're going to have a whole year to take in that they are the current medalists at the World Championships, and that Loris Berger is the world champion. Amazing scenes here in Andorra. Tracy, we see some great racing, a great track. It really has summed up what mountain biking is about and what mountain bike downhill is about.
Oh, it has for sure. I think it's incredible. There's such passion there, and it's to show, and it shows just how much a World Championship, it's different to a World Cup. You know, winning the World Cup's amazing, but you can just see what this means to everyone. And that jersey, that podium, it is so special. And every 12 months you get a chance to have a go for it, and people will be dreaming of next year already, because it's such a special day. And the sport is amazing. It's great.
And our two world champions together on stage, showing the gold medal, showing off those rainbow jerseys. An amazing moment for them, but an amazing moment for the sport. We've got a brand new men's world champion. We've got a three-time world champion. Only two riders have taken more for the women's elite competition. A really pivotal moment, I think, when you see the new generations coming in and through, and we've got 6 young riders in there, and at the moment alongside somebody who's maybe not so young.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think, you know, it's been a long time since I've raced downhill, and Greg's a very similar age to myself, and I admire him fantastically to be able to have maintained that focus, maintained all the effort that goes into it, and still been as fast as those youngsters. It's amazing, Greg. Well done.
Well, fantastic to see the riders here today, able to celebrate, enjoy the moment as world champions, as medalists, and of course lots of their teammates who are racing maybe in another race alongside the track, cheering them on. So a fantastic atmosphere here today. The World Championships jersey is something special. I've got to ask you the question, Tracy. Did you go to bed in yours? Did you sleep in yours on the first night? Can you remember? Did you get any sleep on the first night? Were you too busy partying?
No, I don't think I did sleep in it, but yeah, it's treasured, and it's certainly framed in a pride of place at home.
Well, I'm sure it's something that you're going to treasure forever, and the whole family are going to treasure forever. Maybe the next generation of the family will be looking for one in the future. We never ever know. I think there's going to be a lot of people inspired by the wins of both these riders, signing the official UCI jersey here, and you can see our jersey sponsors who look after the jersey, providing so many, and they're all going to be treasured on the way through. Something that Loris Berger is going to have to really get used to here. There's quite a few to go at.
I say they've got him to work straight away, haven't they? You win the race and straight to work.
Definitely, why not? It's, you know, it's just one of those things that's going to come with it, and I'm sure it is very special. We've had 2 special races in our downhill. We've got lots of action here in Pal Arinsal. It's always a pleasure putting words to the action. Tracy, thank you very much for joining me here in the commentary box. It's an absolute pleasure to work with you. Thank you for your insights. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you catch up with the action when you can. But from me, Matt Payne, from Tracy Mosley, stay safe. We'll see you again soon. Goodbye.